How's it going, chat? Me, I'm just getting used to being, like, dehumanized and turned into content. We'll get to that a bit later, right? We'll get to that a bit later. But we got content to go over today, and it just, like, it kind of sucks. Like, I was thinking about it as I was starting. Like, how much of what I do ends up just being fighting a rearguard action against anti-SJW content creeping its way into the left, right? And forget about gatekeeping. Nobody's gatekeeping. There's nobody watching the door. Whoever wants to just comes in, and they don't unpack their shit first. And that's a problem. That's what we're dealing with, and that's why I am a messy bitch, right? Because as much as I am covering today some messy bitches, wait, I wish I had noodles. That's the one thing I didn't cook. I didn't have time, chat. Like, I got noodles on the thumbnail, but in real life, I've got avocados, beans, and tortillas, right? That's what I'm gonna eat. That's what I'm gonna munch on. I hope you got something to munch on. I hope you got some tea, because I have definitely got some mile high tea here. We've got a decent amount to cover, I would say, today, so let's get started. The first thing I need to do, as always, is blast off. Oh wait, I think I have... Do I have the... Yeah, I'll just take the thing that I typed for... All right, what am I gonna type today? Okay, so here we go. Vaush lets his true feelings. Oh no. That's not the right link. We gotta get rid of that. Just get rid of that whole thing, because that's not the real link. Vaush lets his true feelings on women be known in a... No, just like, that's fine. While Keffals melts down about drama streamers from her big glass house. That's right, chat. We're letting them know. And apparently they do know. Apparently they do see this, and it's a subject of great consternation. Great consternation to some of these people. But, you know, hey, look, if you want me to stop, like, sipping on your tea, then you need to stop attacking good people, all right? I don't really feel bad about doing drama streams on a drama streamer, and that's what we're doing today, right? These people are being hoisted on their own petards for your entertainment. Are you not entertained? Let's put this noodles picture up here, right? See, like, who's eating the noodles? It's me, of course, right? I don't even know if Keffals knows anything about noodles. I know noodles. I know noodles. I feel like I probably eat more noodles than Keffals does. Then who? That's right. Omega lol Keffals. Let's see. We gotta get this. No, I'm just like a little bit jaded today because there are like better things that we could be covering. Like, we did get into some substance yesterday, I guess, you know. It's normie politics, but yeah, I don't know what to say, chat. We're gonna get messy today. We're gonna get really messy. We're gonna see how messy we actually get and what kind of... We're gonna see. I'm gonna throw some noodles at the wall, okay? Because I don't know if you know this, but you gotta throw your noodles at the wall and see if they stick in order to know if they're done yet. That's all I'm trying to ascertain here. Are my noodles ready to be eaten? Are they ready? Are they good? Are they cooked, right? Will they stick to the wall? We're gonna find out, chat. We're gonna throw a lot of shit at the wall and we're gonna see what sticks. Yeah, Vaush lets his true feelings on women be known while Keffals melts down about drama streamers from her big glass house. Delicious tea from White Leaf's best messy bitches. I mean, like, White Leaf sounds like a brand of tea that I would buy, right? Like I can imagine this being like a really nice like Yunnan white tea or something like that, right? I can imagine like, but no, instead it's this fucking Clout network that's constantly attacking everybody else and then complaining that people don't like them. I wonder why people don't like you. Could it be because you're a bit of an asshole? I don't know. I'm just a messy bitch. What do I know, chat? Well, I know how to cook noodles. I know how to make a mean cup of tea, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're brewing for today. We're gonna hit go on that. We are live and alive, chat. Blasting off. Help me blast off. Help me blast off. She knows how to be racist using noodles. Yeah. Let's see. What do we got? Oh my God, Dirk Monkey. Thank you for the resubscribe. Thank you so much. Good to see you too. I hope you're ready for some drama. No, I don't know. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Look, I'll take a break after today, so hopefully I can recover from the too much absorption of drama. What are we doing? We're giving you this link so that you can help me blast off with that. Look, there it is in Twitch chat. Unable to pin? Can somebody pin that for me? Apparently Twitch is not recognizing me as myself. Oh great, that's wonderful. And then the other thing is right here, bestie. Pop out that chat. Oh, you know what? I should have put it in before I popped it out because there's this weird error that happens. There's this weird glitch where I post it and it like doesn't let me pin it. There we go. We can pin it now. Pin that message. Right. This is my tweet. This is also your chance to show up on stream in the form of your Twitter avatar. So if that's something that's appealing to you, or you just want to help me get the word out and help new people find me and spread the drama, spread the tea, then you can do so by hitting that button. Another button that I really love it when you hit is the like button on YouTube. If you haven't hit it already, I would massively appreciate that because that helps me out more than you can imagine. But yeah, if somebody could pin that in Twitch chat, I don't have the pin authority. Yeah, like super mods. Do you have to be a super mod to do it? I think that any Twitch mod can do it, and I've got the YouTube one pinned, but there it is right there. Let's take a look and see what is in my notifications. I'm just like worried someday this is gonna burn me. This is gonna get me in trouble. But yeah, there it is, right? If you wanna give it a retweet, if you wanna give it a like, even if you wanna post a GIF, right? An appropriate GIF, that's the important thing. Because we're not trying to show anything inappropriate on screen. I really like that channel. Oh my God, Al Jazeera, yes. Is channel activity not available on mobile? You need to be a super mod? Oh, to pin on YouTube. Don't worry about the YouTube. It should be pinned on YouTube. Yeah, there it is. It's pinned. A Skibidi. Yes, I love it when people post Skibidi. Yo, anybody else waiting for episode 70? I gotta admit, okay, you know, judge me. Go ahead and judge me, because I know I'm really immature. I know I take like forever to grow up, and I'm still not quite grown up. That's probably why I do a stream like this. It's probably why I'm a messy bitch drama streamer, right? It's probably why I dress like this. There's so many clues, right? But yeah, no, I still enjoy. I unironically appreciate Skibidi Toilet. Okay, that tea is good. That tea is actually really good. I'm feeling that now. Ad break starts in 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Well, thanks for telling me that, Twitch, right? Twitch is letting me know that I should let you know that if you do not want to see that ad break that's coming at you in exactly 4 minutes and 5 seconds now, you can get out of it. There are ways, right? If you have an Amazon Prime, that's the easiest way. You can just hook that baby right up to Twitch, and for free, for no extra cost to you, receive a free membership, a free sub to give to the streamer of your choice. If that's me, you will no longer see ads in my chat. You can also get a sub by paying $5 on desktop, $6 on mobile, or if you're lucky and somebody's feeling generous and you know, you might actually benefit, you might actually be the beneficiary of a gift sub. It can happen, it does happen, but it's more likely to happen if you're active in chat. Only a channel admin, are you talking YouTube mods? Are you talking about in YouTube? Only a channel admin can pin in YouTube, right? But I'm asking for Twitch. I mod on Twitch and I can't pin. That's interesting. I know there's somebody in there that can pin. It's not recognizing me as me. It doesn't think I'm actually, it thinks I'm Keffals. It thinks I'm some other messy bitch rather than myself, right? I'm messier than usual, right? So it's mistaking, yeah, unable to pin, something went wrong, please try again. I think it's just that like my software doesn't have me logged into Twitch somehow. Wait, what happens if I try to type? No, I am logged into my channel. That's weird. That's super weird. That's bizarre, but yeah, this is your chance if you want to. If you want to be one of the people that shows up on the screen in the beginning of the stream, this is your chance, right? If you've got a meme, particularly a Skibidi toilet meme, then you can appear right under the thumbnail, right down here. But yeah, we got to go over some Vaush again. From time to time, Vaush does this thing where he makes it really clear, like, how he actually feels about stuff, like who he actually is. Which, you know, I mean, look, there's some opinions that Vaush has that I don't object to. There's some issues I don't think he's particularly bad on. And then there's things like feminism. There's things like racism, where he has like really bad takes on. And I kind of gotta show you just to convince people that have only seen one side of Vaush that I am not making this up. I'm not looking for somebody to woke scold. I don't hate the guy. I'm not, you know, don't have anything particularly against any of these people that we're gonna talk about today. But I do have something against, like, just straight up MRA shit being spread under the guise of leftism. And that's what the problem is with Vaush. The fact that his other takes are not objectionable allows him to kind of like Trojan horse this shit in. There we go. Already with the comments from your favorite. Oh my god. But yeah, welcome in everybody. I've seen the Dark Tendy crumble under barely a Vaush. It isn't pretty. Yeah, and honestly, like, I don't want to keep doing this. I just want them to like stop attacking people. And like, please, like, make it so I don't have, we got tea. We got some serious tea today. Wait. Some delicious white leaf tea being spilled. Don't mind if I do, right? Right? And that ad break that I warned you about over on Twitch, that's about to start in about 4 seconds. Hey, mods on Twitch, can anybody pin my tweet for me? I hate to have to ask you to do this because this seems like the sort of thing I should do myself, but it won't let me. I don't understand why either. I'm logged in under my account and everything. Maybe, oh wow, thank you Soul Life, you figured it out, wow. Twitch is just having problems. Twitch is always having problems. But you know who's not having problems? Lazy Eye Steve, who just signed up and followed me on Twitch. Thank you, Lazy Eye Steve, and welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're gonna get going in a second here, right? We also got to talk about Keffals, right? We also got to talk about Keffals because she said the weirdest thing about drama streamers. Now, I don't know if you know Keffals, if you know who I'm talking about, but we're talking about a drama streamer. A drama streamer who has problems with other drama streamers. I guess there can only be one. Are you sure, Keffals? Are you sure you want to play the Highlander? right? Because if there can only be one, that might not work out so well. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Look, I notice every time you're a messy bitch, and I don't always say something. I don't hate Keffals. I don't hate Vaush. That's gonna become relevant later on, right? I do have to say I'm kind of bored with Keffals' content, and I do feel like she's kind of juicing the drama in order to make up for her lack of creativity. And I guess to a person without creativity, you know, it doesn't feel good to see somebody who does have inspiration. It doesn't feel good to see somebody who loves what she's doing in spite of the Sisyphusian boulder that she's rolling up that hill every day. Despite the fact that she's running up that hill, right? Like Stranger Things, right? She's running up that hill, and it never seems to end. But that's okay. That's the life I've accepted. Twitch doesn't let me pin stuff on my own stream either. Interesting. Shakespeare, do you use Stream Elements? We need to get off of that. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're off of it already. I need to get off of it. Every single distribution, I feel like, of streaming software has like some issue with it, right? Stream Elements, they like basically took other people's, you know, code, took other people's stuff and like represented it as their own without like any sort of attribution. That's not great. So I stopped using Streamlabs. Stream Elements, now we have to worry about like the owners of that. You use straight up OBS. That's probably the best thing to do. I don't think there's a problem with just OBS. The only problem is that it doesn't hold your hand. Stream Elements totally holds, or sorry, Streamlabs totally holds your hand. Stream Elements, you know, holds your hand a little bit, and it has some nice things that like make it easier on your system, right? They tax your computer a little bit less. I noticed it doesn't have a sword next to your name on Twitch. It shouldn't be a sword, it should be like a camera or something. Wait, where's my name on Twitch? Oh yeah, there's the camera. I'm the broadcaster. Wait, did I somehow get demodded on my own stream? Oh no. I don't even want to know what can happen with that, right? That sounds like an invitation to shenanigans if you're not modded on your own stream, but I don't know if that's usually how it works. Look, I'm a 52-month subscriber. I'm my own best subscriber. That's kind of amazing. But yeah, I've got a lot of other content to cover too. We'll see what we can get to. I streamed a long time yesterday, so I don't necessarily want to repeat that. But yeah, thank you everybody for boosting my tweet, for helping that get out there, and possibly bringing new people to the stream. That's the effect of it. Another thing that you can do that brings new people to the stream. Look at that. We got more tea. We got, oh my God, that's my favorite. Kermit. Nobody drinks tea like Kermit. Except for maybe Jordan Peterson, but I think that's just a coincidence. It's refreshing. Oh my God, that's the kind of day that we're having. I don't know if you know this, but the thumbnail, you know, where it says like, where it says like, that's supposed to be what it says. Like, I don't know how to spell, but I think that Vamps got it right. Just like a lot of H's in front of huh. That's basically it. But yeah, lovely thumbnail as always from the lovely and talented Vamps, who I appreciate so much because I am such, what do you call it? A high maintenance bitch? I feel like when it comes to being a streamer, I kind of am. Like in terms of like somebody, you know, she makes an awesome thumbnail and I'm like, it's really awesome, but what if there was noodles in my mouth? And she's like, and then she goes and finds the picture with noodles in my mouth and adds that and it's even better, right? Because Keffals is not the only one who likes to eat tasty noodles, okay? I like them too. I just oh, that's how it's spelled. Ahreu. I mean, yeah, that kind of that sounds like it. It's hard though. It's not. It's an onomatopoeia, but it's not an easy onomatopoeia. So many home improvement memes. So many home improvement memes. I gotta look through my Yu-Gi-Oh deck here. Let's see what all we've got on tap, because like I said, there's 2 main points I want to hit for sure. There's also a lot of just like random cool content that I have been lucky enough to find. Oh yeah. You know what we should start off with, chat? So we're gonna do, okay, so let me just let you know the order of the stream. We're gonna do the Vaush deep dive into men's rights or whatever the hell, whatever kind of incel crap Vaush is selling us today, right? We're gonna take a look at Keffals, you know, having an issue with drama streamers, despite the fact that that is all she does anymore. That is all she has. She's completely juiced up on drama. But first, we gotta talk about some aliens. Chat, do you know about the aliens? Did you hear about the aliens? Aliens sighted in Miami. Not Miami in Ohio, but Miami in Florida, right? And who better to tell us about the actual meaning of these aliens than our Tradcath friend, intrepid reporter from The Rising. I don't remember, like, Jessica Burbank, that's her name. Wait, no, Amber Duke. I think it's Amber Duke that we're talking about. Yeah, let's read this. Jessica Burbank and Amber Duke react to reporting that a 10-foot, possibly extraterrestrial figure was spotted in Miami. So that's what we're starting off today with. Because I, as always, have been edging you for long enough, / possibly too long. Despite how good this music is, despite how hard it hits, we gotta get going. We gotta get going, because like I'm a messy enough bitch already without being late to everything, including stream.
It might be War of the Worlds happening right now on this third rock from the sun. The Messenger reports that on New Year's Day, numerous police officers swiftly responded to a Miami mall as a brawl ensued among a group of teens wielding sticks, launching fireworks, and causing chaos for local businesses.
Right? Okay. So anybody else getting a little bit annoyed by the aliens grifters? Look, I believe that this is a big universe. There's a lot going on in it. To think that like human life is the only life around, it's just silly. Obviously, it's not. But some of this alien shit is just ridiculous. But here's how it works, right? Even if you are somebody who doesn't believe in extraterrestrial visitors, even if you couch everything into like, you know, Catholic mythology of some kind or demonic, you know, mythology, right? You still want those UFO viewers, right? If I was like, I don't know, maybe UFOs are real, I would get like 10 times more views, right? If I had like thumbnails of like a non-believer is amazed by new UFO footage, new alien footage, right? I would, it would be beneficial for me. And a lot of people do that. Paul Squall says, oh, nice. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's what happens when you cheer now. Paul Squall, I did that just for you. The truth is out there for sure, right? You get to see blue hair again. Some people miss blue. Does anybody miss blue hair? Does anybody know blue hair? Does anybody in chat know what I'm talking about? Aliens is a good laugh, but it will turn into conspiracy nonsense. I'm more concerned about the battalions of Italian Nazi stormtroopers. Oh no, what's that? I'm guessing you're talking about in modern day Italy.
However, some observant social media users
Whoa, hype train.
Substantial police mobilization.
Hype train, Shakespeare with the 100 bits. Rainbow hair NCC stream. Oh my god, someday. Well, limited time to earn emotes, right? So we're on the hype train now on YouTube. You know, 12%. If we get it to 100%, we get new emotes every time we drive that to 100%. you get new emotes and you get more time to use to earn new emotes. So this is, you know, strike while the iron is hot. Florida men are out there. They really are. I miss my teal hair. Ellipsis misses blue hair. Yeah. The only person I know with blue hair is Vixen. Okay, well, this is old school stuff, right? Early hype train. Very, very early hype train. But yeah, I don't like this stuff because I do actually believe that aliens are out there. I do. I kind of doubt that I don't think okay, look, if they've made it to Earth, they're really good at hiding themselves. Right? I don't think that they're talking to the government. I don't think they made a secret deal. I don't think it's anything like that. But do you see what they're pointing to? Can everybody see this? Wait, let me make this bigger. I gotta make this bigger because we're talking about aliens. You can't see what I'm looking at. It does kind of look like a gray alien, doesn't it? Those are cop cars. This was in Miami. There was like 100 cop cars that showed up for what was supposed to be a fight between kids. Somebody shot off fireworks and there were kids fighting with sticks or some kind of weapons in the mall, and they called like 100 cop cars. So that is truly weird, right? I don't have a good explanation. I can imagine some Occam's razors explanations that don't involve either aliens or giant clown people from biblical times, right? Right, or demons or anything else, right? I can imagine a lot of other things that it could be, but that's what they're circling, right? Is this form right here? And if you know, it's blurry, but yeah, it could be, that could be like a big tall gray alien. It's got to be pretty big because like those are the cop cars, right? It's as long as a cop car. That's, you know, I don't know, 10 feet, 15 feet. That's pretty big. But if this is the blurry picture, now just what do you want to bet? Place your bets, chat. One in chat if you think that they're going to show you the less blurry version of this picture, because it does exist. And when you see that less blurry version, especially moving, you recognize that this is not one entity. This is not a giant gray alien being like, yo, what's up? Right? This is actually 3 cops walking. It's 3 cops walking and they kind of blurred together. That's all, right? That's what they're showing. But some people would like to believe it's aliens,
which even included officers armed with high-powered rifles, was unrelated to the teenage disturbance. Instead, they assert that the situation involved extraterrestrial phenomena.
I mean, it could also be Stranger Things, right? Remember that lab from Stranger Things? Maybe it's that stuff.
The basis for this claim is an aerial image that you see that purportedly depicts a slender gray entity ranging from 7 to 10 feet in height, lurking near a promenade close to a row of police cruisers. Ex-user Gold Lion posted this video, which we have
Ex-user Gold Lion. Thank you, Gold Lion.
a screenshot of up on the screen.
And this is the weird thing, right? That they cover a beat, right? We all know Brianna and Robbie. It used to be Crystal and Sagar before them on The Rising. These are 2 other people. It's Jessica Burbank. That's who this is. Amber Duke is the woman we saw previously. Also, nice curls on Jessica Burbank, but they're kind of like a team, and they always seem to cover the conservative Christian beat. Now, we're starting off talking about aliens. That's what gets them into the door. Watch what Jessica tries to turn this into.
Of a massive police response in Miami, which conservative commentator ex-user DC Drano responded. So are we
DC Drano? Oh my god, all these names.
not going to be told the truth about why Miami had possibly the biggest police response I've ever seen in my
Robert G says, considering how good photo technology is today, UFO people have no excuse for not showing up with footage made on a kinetograph.
life. They're saying it was for teenagers fighting. What really happened? And another conservative commentator, Matt Walsh, wrote,
DC Drano. I think it's supposed to be some swamp reference, right? DC Drano. It's just a right. Oh, you missed the hype train, chat. You missed the hype train. That's okay. We'll get another chance, I'm sure.
frankly absurd to suggest
Twitch has been doing pretty well, so you know I have faith in you, Twitch. I have confidence
that this incident was anything but an alien invasion. Enthusiastic amateur investigators noted that the slender gray entity closely resembled a similar being reportedly observed by a family in Nevada last May. According to the family's account, they witnessed a flash of light in the sky before encountering two beings, each standing up to 10 feet tall.
Are we seeing them? Are those the two beings? Or was this off camera, conveniently off camera?
Additionally, some users drew attention to reports of 7-foot-tall aliens causing disturbances among local villagers in Peru earlier this year. Subsequent investigations supposedly revealed that these entities were in fact illegal gold miners utilizing jetpacks, which is
That's almost better.
almost weirder than aliens somehow. But I'm, as you know, Jessica, we cover UFOs a lot on this channel. I'm very open-minded about all of it. I'm a little skeptical of the Miami story just because I would think we would have more footage if
They were mining
a brawl apparently
illegal gold miners with jetpacks. That's kind of awesome.
happening at the same time as the aliens, and there's all these people at the ball.
Yeah, gold miners using jetpacks,
I
exactly.
want some cell phone footage. I think it's weird that the only footage we have so far is this aerial footage that sort of briefly shows this shadowy figure. I don't know. This one to me is a little bit far-fetched.
These are the worst hosts, yeah.
Why don't we have any
I think they're the most religious hosts too.
kind of interview
It does seem like a Minecraft moment, although who really mines gold?
of someone who was there that night? Why aren't the police like, nah, for sure wasn't an alien, just teenagers, this must have been photoshopped? None of the teenagers who were brawling want to clarify whether or not
I mean, I guess if you're doing a speed run, but if you're doing a speed run, you're gonna get your gold from the from the nether.
foot tall alien was there. Like, I really want someone
They just wanted to go to the mall. Yeah, they were looking for like clothes and
who
stuff.
was on the scene to tell us a little bit something more. I love that in Peru they
But do you see how this like evidence of absence or wait, what is it like the absence of evidence, right? In other words, I don't have somebody on the scene that's like, yeah, I saw the 10-foot tall creatures, or like I saw it in there and it was just kids fighting or whatever. You don't have like a word from them, so they're like, oh my god, there must be something suspicious. It's like, the government won't let anybody talk.
saw people with
They're suppressing it.
jetpacks and was like, yeah,
She was, which one? Who was with TYT? Jessica?
that's a 7 to 10 foot tall person. They're like,
It's so funny how because she's like, I get the feeling that she's actually pretty right wing, as in like evangelical right wing. Jessica is an atheist. I'm wrong. Why is she always on this beat then?
8 feet high. Also, the jetpacks, it could have been a Mandalorian. Maybe they're Star Wars fans. They employ jetpacks as a part of their.
But it's just funny that the home of the progressives, like, personnel from the home of the progressives, TYT, are interchangeable with like a weird sussy right-wing outlet like the Rising.
Up. And they were in a mining place. Maybe they were looking for Beskar. There's all kinds of explanations for why they thought this was an alien. But yes, illegal gold miners, reasonable explanation. The Nevada case, we don't really have an explanation for that one. This could be another 10-foot tall alien. I'm alarmed that the alien stories that we have, they're that big. I'm like half the size of that thing. That's terrifying. But it could have.
Wait, are they saying that there's something there? Are we supposed to see something, chat? Does anybody see anything? I don't think there's like, I don't even see what could be supposed to be an alien in this picture. And also, if the aliens are flying their saucers and you turn around, like, right, they're not going to get out of the flying saucers, run down the sidewalk and like, flank you, right? Are they that fast? The ghost of Bigfoot. I see very bad lighting. Yeah, I don't even see what could be an alien here. Are they trying to claim that people think this is a picture of an alien? Because I don't see. Like, is it that shadow there below the blue light? Is that what we're looking at? Have you tried opening your third eye? I need to get Moonlord to help me with that, Molten Panda. This is a reach. This is what the Rising fan base is checking for. There's a huge audience for this. There's a huge audience. Don't worry, though, if you're here for the Vaush story, if you're here for the Keffals story, we'll get to those. We're just getting some, like, I've been meaning to cover this. This story dropped like on Saturday, right? And I really wanted to cover this, especially since it connects to something that Zara and Shakespeare have talked about, right? Which is the biblical myth of the Nephilim, right? Because if you don't believe that it is an extraterrestrial explanation, you might believe in a divine explanation, or rather an infernal explanation of what these actually are. Yeah, they're like 10 feet tall, kind of matches the profile of a Nephilim.
Explain a little bit why they don't want to hang out with us, because they are way bigger.
And that's what was trending on Twitter, right? Not aliens, but no, actually, I think aliens and Nephilim were both trending
than us, and that is scary. And teenagers breaking out in a fight could have been started by them seeing the alien.
What if the alien started the fight?
They're trying to run away.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense.
Start fighting each other. I don't know.
Look, I gotta say, okay, if I'm a teenager in a mall and I, get chased around by aliens, I am not gonna take the time to fight people, right? Like, I might push, I might trample. I hope I wouldn't trample someone, but in a crowd, I guess it happens, right? But I'm not gonna stop and like fight somebody. It doesn't make sense.
The alien did cause the teenager fight, and the teenager fight's why they responded, and then there was just a big alien there.
What if the aliens were responding to the teenager fight because the aliens came here for peace, and they're like, hey, chill out, it's okay, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, to totally
bad take, Burbank. Well, thank you for whoever told me that Burbank was an atheist. I kind of assumed, because like I've looked through The Rising a little bit for some content that Jessica Burbank mentioned earlier, right? Or mentions later, that I wanted to find, where she supposedly reported on the Nephilim right before. I can't find that video for you, unfortunately. But when I look up Jessica Burbank's other stuff, I always find her as when I look up Amber's stuff, I always find like Jessica Burbank being her partner. And I know that Amber is a big, traditionalist Catholic. So I kind of figured maybe birds of a feather, but it seems like what they're doing is more like, let's pair up the atheist with the tradcath.
Unrelated events, possibly. I did see the video of the teenage fight. It looks bad, but not for the number of police cars that we saw in that aerial footage from Miami. So I will admit that part is a little weird. I did see a video from an individual who claimed to be in the mall when this incident happened. He said that they heard fireworks followed by gunshots and a stampede of people running away from the area. Him and whoever he was with decided to also leave the mall. And it was then that he claims he saw these tall, shadowy figures. But again, in an age where
Jessica Burbank's TikTok is always making fun of right-wing and evangelicals. Well, I guess that's the Rising formula. They like to pair up a right-winger with a left-winger, so it makes sense.
He is constantly recording everything. Everybody whips their cell phones out at the first sight of some kind of conflict, whether verbal or physical. It just seems a little weird that nobody caught a better image of these things on their camera. Some people are actually claiming that these are the Nephilim described in the Book of Enoch.
The Book of Enoch. Now, please, somebody enlighten me, all right? Is that an apocryphal text? Is the Book of... Why am I not... Like, I'm going through the Bible in my mind and I don't see Book of Enoch. Is that original? They're also talking about it in the Book of Genesis. It's apocryphal. Okay. Is it one of the ones that's in the Catholic Bible? Or is that just the story about the dragon? That's the cool thing. If you're Catholic, you get to have dragons in your Bible, right? I didn't grow up with dragons in my Bible. I had to wait till high school to read about the dragons in the Bible, and to find out that the Bible, the first few books weren't actually written by Moses, but there was like 8 dudes. There was like 8 different dudes, and they've all got their own style, and they take over from each other, like, Anyway, I found the Catholic Bible more interesting. Not the orange Catholic Bible, not to get this mixed up with Dune. And not to get this mixed up with what we call the top of the hour ad break, which is coming at you not exactly at the top of the hour, but in about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. That means if you're on Twitch, you've got limited time to be able to not see those ads by using a Twitch Prime to get out of them and to get the emotes. by buying a sub for yourself for $5 on desktop or $6 on mobile, or if you're super lucky, by possibly receiving a gift sub, which can happen and does happen, but is more likely to happen to you when you're active in chat.
Which I talked about on this show before.
It's part of the biblical canon of the Ethiopian church. Nice.
Got a lot of heat for.
It was like DLC, yeah.
For the record, I don't think that that's what's happening in this case, but that was trying to.
Okay, so she got, that's where it went. Now I understand. I could not find, Sarah could not find the segment where she talks about Nephilim, but it may have gotten taken down, right? It may have been something that the Hill, as right-wing as they are, don't really want to put their name on. There's an audience for it out there, though, right? There are a lot of is it mainly like see, when I hear about Nephilim, I kind of assume that we're talking about like evangelical Protestants, but I guess it could be, tradcaths too.
Find really fascinating because a lot of people are attributing a biblical or I guess.
Oh, Enoch, son of Cain. Wasn't it also like a city that got like taken into heaven because it was so awesome? God was like, this is a nice city. Yoink. God's just like, yoink.
Spiritual explanation to what's been happening with these extraterrestrials. There's sort of a debate.
Ortho bros?
These are really just of beings made up of biological matter that exists elsewhere in the universe, or if these are perhaps demons or some other thing from the spiritual realm that has crossed over into our world. I don't know the answer to that. I would err on the side of demons generally, as we know, because I'm a crazy Catholic person, but to me, I think maybe the Miami thing is a distraction from what's been going on.
So what I really want to know about her is she somebody who converted into Catholicism, like, right? And it seems like maybe a more traditional version thereof, or is she somebody who was like, was like born Catholic? Is she SSPX? Yeah, somebody, can anybody find this information for me? But she straight up made a video about Nephilim, right? And this is what the right wing, mostly, like, I've seen it from evangelical sources, but I guess it could be. We have an Enoch town in North Carolina that God didn't yoink yet. You better be careful. Better be careful. Don't be too good, or else God will yoink your town. If he's like, this is a nice city. This is a nice city. I love this city. I'm feeling this city.
Government cover-up of UFOs that we've been talking about on this channel, which has a lot more evidence.
Yeah, Zara's working on a video essay about Nephilim, which, and it's a pretty big topic of the right wing with some weird, it's got some weird sussy connections too. I was raised Catholic. I don't remember anything about demons or Nephilim. Yeah, I've heard various things about the existence of demons, the use of exorcist as it regards to the Catholic Church. I think it's one of those things where there might be like a difference in the point of view of the church versus the people in the church, right? The church officials, I think maybe still adhere to the idea that there could be demons and, you might need an exorcist if you're dealing with one. Whereas like the majority of Catholics, maybe not so much. Shakespeare says Jay Dyer is ortho bro. Oh, that Orthodox, yes, online Orthodox church who, yeah, the converts to the Orthodox church are sometimes even weirder than the right-wing converts to generally like traditional Catholic, right, which is not mainstream Catholic, right? It's the people that don't like where they think the Pope is woke. The Pope is woke, and we can't have a woke Pope. Paul Squaw says, I was raised Catholic. I don't remember anything about demons or Nephilim. I should have paid more attention. I know, that's the cool shit, right? I mean, I did skip to the book of Revelations because it is honestly one of the more interesting parts.
Amber, I'm curious. I'm on Team Aliens, by the way. I believe all of the UFOs are aliens. I don't think they're demons, but what does it mean if they are demons? Is that what the Bible says when it's the end times?
I mean, that could be part of it, but I think demons can show up for all kinds of reasons, and they have throughout history. I mean, if you...
Sinners in Miami, Amber.
What's that?
Dave says Nephilims are humans, human demon angel hybrids though. Nice. That's even cooler. That sounds like some Shin Megami Tensei kind of stuff, right? I only know the name from Supernatural. Oh, they were demons. Yeah. This is fucking bonkers, right? Yo, but she's like so cash about it. She's so cash in talking about demons, right? It reminds me of Rod Dreher. I hope we get a chance to look. We'll go on. We'll do a little Rod Dreher segment, right? Yeah, Megaton. Hell yeah, hell yeah. I need to play those games. Oh, she is serious. Yeah, no, she's serious. Like, right, and that's why they paired these two up. Like, I assumed, okay, that they were like fellow travelers in like the, you know, conservative Christianity, but it turns out that we got like they paired up the atheist with the tradcath.
It must be the sinners in Miami attracting the demons.
Well, it could be. There's a lot of sin down there.
There's a lot of sin in Miami. What are you saying? What I've heard, but we would have to go into like a whole conversation about like Catholic exorcisms, and we should actually get Monsignor Stephen Rossetti on. He was a former chaplain to the Washington Nationals. Monsignor Stephen Rossetti. Anybody know that name?
Baseball team, and has also been performing exorcisms for like 30 years or something. I would definitely recommend his books. They're absolutely fascinating about the way that demonic demons can manifest in someone. And it's not just
the woman on the right, so that's Amber, got fired for saying a racist joke about Kamala. Oh no. Yeah, that was the UPS thing, right?
Take over of the person's body. Sometimes he calls it a demonic oppression where they're afflicted by it, but it's not a total possession. So I don't know, it's fascinating stuff, but it would take a long time to get into all of the specifics about how exactly it works. And
my mom was really scared by the idea of demonic possession.
Why a demon might present themselves, and but generally, you are correct to allude to the fact that if people are sinning more, then that would perhaps provide a wider opening to a demonic portal, I guess you could say.
After this conservative outlet fired her, The Hill was happy to pick her up. Yeah. So we got Amber from, wait, the conservative outlet. Are we talking about like Fox News or something? Where she worked before? But yeah, The Hill's happy to pick her up. They also picked up, apparently, Jessica from TYT.
Generally.
Demons manifest in me when my tummy... Sometimes the stuff that she's talking about feeling like oppressed by the demonic presence, like that is how they say that it manifests, right? They'll literally sort of do it as a pseudoscience of like, you got a tummy ache? Or maybe it's demons. Does the tummy ache get worse when you're around crucifixes? And if so, it's definitely demons.
See, I think I would like to believe
it almost feels like homeopathy or something.
Aliens. I am terrified of demons and ghosts and all of that stuff. Watched way too many scary movies as a kid. To me, aliens are fun. As we all know, I want to be beamed up by them. Recently, I've been very disappointed that so many of the pictures and media of aliens, they're always beaming up cows.
That's why you gotta get like a cow print, like a cow onesie. Seriously, just put on a onesie. They'll beam you up.
Like what?
Monsignor Rossetti is the person who tries to bring in church precepts into psychology. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do there. It feels like they're trying to medicalize it.
What do they want with the cows? And what do cows have that I don't have?
Delicious
like, why do
steak.
They want the
so diagonalist. What do cows have that you don't have? Udders? I don't know.
Cows and not me.
Like a few things, multiple stomachs, the ability to turn, fiber into calories. Yeah.
I don't know. Do humans have fillets or ribeyes? I don't know.
You got to make yourself more delicious. You should marinate your flesh for the aliens.
Maybe they saw an Arby's commercial. They like intercept.
They were like, they got the meats. We gotta go to Earth. We gotta go to Earth. Arby's has the meats.
Is it the perfect?
They want to try the horsey sauce.
Time became obsessed with beef. I want to know why cows? Why do they love the cows?
That's a great question. Well, we're gonna.
TYT is a bad place, man. They canceled 2 shows, let 2 contributors. Yeah, tell me about it. TYT. Yeah, that's another, right? If it's not Vaush, if it's not Keffals, it's TYT.
Stay on the UFO story. As our viewers know, we don't normally joke about it this much. We do take it seriously.
Yeah, that's important that you know we take this stuff seriously. We're not laughing at you. We're not making fun of you. I don't exclusively believe in demons. I guess maybe it could be aliens half the time. No, they're grifting. They're 100% grifting. So yeah, there's our update on aliens. We'll try to check back if we have some time later. We're just kind of want to cover the things that I promised you first. So that's our alien story. And yeah, it's all it is a blurry picture of 3 cops. And, you know, there is some weird stuff about it. Right? That does seem like a lot of cop cars for a fight between teenagers. But defaulting to this whole aliens or demons thing, like that just sort of shows you where people's heads are at. They're not in a good place. They're really not in a good place. And it's the kind of, there's something about this time where there's like an epistemological crisis, a crisis of knowledge, a crisis of how do you know things, right? And when the right wings, like every single story that they cover, every single narrative that they tell is basically trying to debase what you know. It's trying to debase your faith in any sort of authorities, especially like public health. You know, when it comes to Donald Trump, they want to debase your faith in the legal system, which, you know, like none of these things are perfect, but it also, you know, alleging like a big conspiracy without any evidence and without understanding the nature of conspiracies. I'll call this the paradox of conspiracies, right? So conspiracy is 2 or more people making a plan in secret and, you know, that only they know and trying to benefit from it in some way. That's the essence of a conspiracy, right? So I said 2 or more people. You have to have at least 2. You can't have a conspiracy of 1, right? You got to have at least 2 people for a conspiracy. And with 2 people on a conspiracy, right, if it's you and your best friend, there's a good chance that you're going to be loyal to your best friend and your best friend's going to be loyal to you, and nobody's ever going to find out that the conspiracy went on. Let's just say that, like, you know, you're left in the room, you're at work, there's a piece of cake, and you 2 share the cake, and you eat the cake, and you weren't supposed to. That cake was supposed to be for other people. You already had a piece. You each other had a piece. Now you both get 1.5 pieces, and somebody out there doesn't get any cake because of your conspiracy, right? So if it's just the 2 of you and you don't have any reason to betray each other, then, you know, nobody's going to find out that you ate extra cake that day. But let's say that it was 3 people. Let's say that it was 4 people. Let's say that it was 5 people. Let's say that it was 8 people. There's 8 people that ate some extra cake. And you all agreed not to tell anybody. But somebody had a pang of conscience. And they said, I ate the cake. And you know what? These 7 people did too, right? The bigger the conspiracy, and if it's 8 people, right, you could do more than just eat a piece of cake, right? You could do something. You could steal a bunch of office supplies, right? You could actually get something of value from the company, right? And if everybody, you know, keeps quiet, then you're all right. But with 8 people, it's less likely that everybody's going to keep quiet. So do you understand what I'm saying? 2 people can't do much of a conspiracy. They can eat extra cake, right? They can do like minor things with 2 people, right? If you have more people than 2 people, you can do a lot more. You can do a bigger conspiracy. You could really pull one over on everybody, but everybody's got to keep quiet. And that's less likely to happen with more people. And that's why conspiracy as a default explanation is usually wrong. Anyway, I hope that helps. It's really a concern to me that last time there was a huge fascination in esoteric conspiratorial things. It was before World War II and always ending up in really bad places, like with Madame Blavatsky. You can have your cake and eat it too. Yeah, but not if you have too many people in that conspiracy, right? I mean, criminal conspiracy is at the heart of the RICO yeah, like the RICO charges against Trump, right? Too many rats these days. Crime ain't easy. It's not easy to eat extra cake at work, right? It's harder. TYT made a lib move. They saw the flow of money slow down, and they thought the solution was to pivot right. Yeah, they were also kind of getting their ass kicked by the right. Like they were the targets of the right. They were the lib news outlet that the right-wingers knew about and that the right-wingers would always make fun of. And I guess maybe they got tired of being the targets. They got tired of being made fun of. They I don't know. I don't know what was in their mind, but yeah, it seems to be a decision that they made for financial reasons is my best guess. But you're free to believe what you like. Cannibalism jokes, but what? Oh, cannibalism jokes by a Catholic, right? Yeah, transubstantiation. See, transubstantiation should have something to do with trans people, but it doesn't. It doesn't, unfortunately. I believe that my honestly that my HRT turns into Jesus before I take it. So that's my version of transubstantiation. I'm not sure that's a very well substantiated claim though. So bad. Substantial trans, yes. All right, so speaking of substantial, we've got more stuff to get to. Wait, did I miss a... Let me make sure I'm reading all my donos. Oh my god, Bad Lefty. Thanks, kind benefactor. Even if it was Soul Life. Yeah, that's right. You got your gift sub from Soul Life. Yo, it doesn't bring those, it doesn't pop those up for me. I need to make a thing that lets me know when people are posting under their membership. I want to make sure to always read your post when you're doing that, because I appreciate my members. It is the one thing that lets me come to you day after day, week after week, and keep body and soul together, keep Void coffee in my cup, and you know, pay for the internet, and among other things. So I massive thanks to members, massive thanks to subs, everybody who supports me in any way, whether it's through super chats, super stickers, donations, bits on Twitch. There's a million different ways you can support me. Hell, you can even support me on Patreon, and I appreciate every single bit of it, even those of you who support me with nothing more than your thumbs, right? Those thumbs are actually powerful, and when we put our thumbs together, we can thumb wrestle some major sussy debate bros, as we're just about to do with Vaush. Let's see what he's got to say about feminism. Oh, that's my number one source on feminism, Vaush. Let's see what Vaush has to say.
There's this concept that what is it?
So this is a chatter. You know, this is a Vaush chatter, I would assume. Do we got any more information? You know what we do have? No. we have a description of Vaush. Now, I gotta say, like, my bio on YouTube probably needs to be reworked, right? Mine's everybody's cringe, right? There's enough cringe to go around for everybody. I'm not judging, you know, Vaush too harshly. I'm not making fun of him in a mean way or anything like that. I know that we can all be cringe, and especially, you know, when you give your image to a fan channel, there is likely to be some cringe posted about you. But let's get into this. Let's cut ourselves a piece of this cringe cake and don't tell anybody else. It's our conspiracy, right? Vaush is a based American leftist streamer, as opposed to a regular American soy cuck American leftist streamer, right? More specifically, Vaush is a libertarian socialist who advocates for market socialism. Wow. Oh my god. Wow. Just like, seriously, market socialism, what could be better? He is he's against authoritarianism and opposes people who praise dictators like Stalin and Mao, calling them tankies. That's important. It's important to call them tankies, right? He also advocates for LGBT plus and minority rights sometimes. So that's not what we're going to see today, though, right? Throughout his career, Vaush has debated numerous figures all across the political spectrum, from the right, far right, and far left. I noticed, though, one person conspicuously absent from this list, one nocommentchick, who Vaush seems to be somewhat afraid to debate. In fact, that's kind of a universal thing amongst all these sussy debate bozo streamers. But yeah, mission statement: prevent Vaush's content in bite-sized digestible chunks in order to appeal to potential fans that just don't have the patience to sit through with a live stream. After watching these videos, look, this is a good mission statement. I can't be mad at Thermia, right? I wish I had a Thermia. I wish people, we need to get the NCC industrial complex going. You know what I need to do? I need to post a style guide in the Discord, right? To let people, if people are interested in starting like a fan channel, in starting like, you know, just making clips, taking, like, make it more digestible. That's all I'm asking, right? Because I do these streams, they last hours and hours. I don't tend to have time, and I have so much like requirement of like, I don't know, I'm just too precious about my content, and I kind of need somebody to just like cut it up, slice it up, partition it out into nice little slices for people to make it more accessible. So yeah, like I don't hate Thermia's mission here. I would love to, if somebody would do that for me, but I need to make a style guide first so people know kind of how to do that, and people maybe who even have not ever used editing software before, people who don't know how do you get the video in the first place, right? I can help you with that, and I should help you with that. That's the least I can do. And I should also get you out that video that I've been working on for way too long. It's getting there, chat. There's just like I have to cut more out of it. I need to make it cleaner and more concise. But I've got a video about George Santos talking to Z-Way that I'm going to be pushing out pretty soon here. So yeah, this is Vaush debates whether leftists should. So we don't know much about this person, right? Anybody can call into Vaush. Anybody that's not nocommentchick, right? Anybody that he's not threatened by can call into Vaush and have a nice little discussion with him. Chat, you know what we need? We need somebody to call into Vaush and then conference me in Sam Cedar style, right? We need to pull the Sam Cedar on Vaush. That would be hilarious. I think Vaush would even appreciate that.
Called Anti-Defamation League talks about, called keystoning, where one of the best ways to change people's opinions is to show them that they've been lied to once.
Okay, so we're talking about outreach. This is something that Vaush is all about, right? He doesn't want to just have a circle jerk. He doesn't want to just have a conversation amongst like-minded people. He wants to reach out there and change people's mind, especially right-wingers' minds, and kind of like, infiltrate that, right? So the chatter's talking about something that the ADL talks about, which is keystoning. The idea being that if you can take somebody who believes in, like, Donald Trump, for instance, right? It's like, Trump is the best, the deep state is evil, yada, 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 right? And you can show them, hey, Trump lies to you. Here's a lie. Here's the proof. Here's a proof that Trump straight up lied to you. Now, that's not going to get through to everybody. Some people don't care. Some people believe in lying for the Lord, and they think that Trump is the representation, the representative of the Lord on earth, that God has chosen him, much like King David, who, also, if you read the Bible, was not perfect, and as an agent of goodness, if an imperfect one. So, if you could, that doesn't always work, but it is an idea, and it is a way to make people start to doubt their epistemological method, how they are choosing what information to believe and what information to reject, right?
So they change.
So yeah, based caller.
Sources of information. I don't know if this is sort of validating their framing, so I don't know if it exactly encourages them to move on.
Well, the first step, if you want to change people...
Okay, so what they're saying is that Vaush's method seems more like validating beliefs, right? Vaush's method, if you're not familiar, is to make the chud feel very comfortable, very at home. And you can see, there's Pepe's in chat, right? They're going to feel home at VGG. People like to call each other the R slur, right? They're going to be comfortable with that. And, even when Vaush gets into some of his beliefs on men's rights here, you're going to see that they're going to feel very comfortable. They're maybe not even going to really have anything to argue with Vaush about.
People's minds is make sure that they trust you as a source. The convincingness of your argument is almost irrelevant on first contact. You want to give them a reason to listen to you. And one of the best ways to do that is to be the reasonable opposition. Most leftists won't even talk about men's issues from this perspective. They're repulsed by them. A lot of people on the left, let's be real, hate men. Unfortunately, this is a criticism levied by the right that is true.
So the right is correct about that. There is hatred for men, aka misandry. That's what Vaush is saying. The left is full of misandry, and if you want to reach out to people on the right, and you got misandrist vibes, you're going to be turning a lot of people away. What does Vaush favor, right? What kind of praxis would Vaush favor? And
I don't think it seeps that much into the academic side of things, but interpersonally, we tolerate a lot of misandry in our community, which is unfortunate.
We tolerate so much misandry, true. Yeah, there's a lot of... Men have it hard on the left, right? It's very hard, as Vaush will attest to be a man on the left
Not a huge systemic problem, but it's not great.
No, it hasn't kept me from dominating the space and intimidating other people from even speaking up against my bullshit. But
Anyway, you pose yourself as like the reasonable opposition, you know? This is one of the reasons that people like Dave Rubin have been able to be so successful. Tim Pool especially. Man, a lot of people like that. You know, it's the way they come up.
yeah, if we could just be more like, we need a Dave Rubin of the left. Dave Rubin has been successful at what? Dave Rubin has been successful at becoming a target of derision, at becoming the closest thing in the political space that you could imagine to a lolcow. Dave Rubin is a joke. What in God's green earth or Poseidon's blue sea are you actually talking about here, Vaush?
Across. There's this effort to be like the
Or Tim Pool, right, is the other example.
I'm not a this or that. I'm just a reasonable bloody blah, you know? People are vulnerable to those narratives, and in this case, it's a correct one.
Well, like, look, if you really want to emulate Tim Pool, notice something, right? Notice that he's actually not left-wing at all. Right? You can't find something. Like, you'd be hard-pressed to find something that Tim Pool is meaningfully left-wing about, right? He says it. He says that he was... The only thing he's got is his bio. He can point to Occupy. Same thing with Dave Rubin. Right, I was a member of the Young Turks, and then I realized that the progressive values that I held were opposed by the regressive values that were actually held by the home of the progressives, the Young Turks. That's why I split off and did my own thing, and I've disavowed them because I'm a heterodox thinker, and they won't allow their mind to go to those places. Right? It's all his bio. There's no real there in terms of like Dave Rubin. Like the only thing you could possibly say is since Dave Rubin is a gay man and is married to his husband and has adopted children, that like that stuff I guess is, you know, seen as like if you're you know LGBT, you might not be as put off by Dave Rubin as somebody else on the right, but then you're going to notice how Dave Rubin gets treated, right? Do we have to go back to Ben Shapiro's conversation with Dave Rubin, where Dave Rubin was so damn sure that if given the chance, Ben Shapiro would come to his wedding anniversary. Ben Shapiro would sit down and eat that cake, that anniversary cake, along with him and his husband, right? Because we have that kind of relationship, right, Ben? No, wrong, Dave, wrong. Ben thinks your lifestyle, the fact that you're married to your husband, and especially probably the fact that you've adopted kids, that's sinful. That's dangerous. That's bad, right? So what are Dave Rubin's fans supposed to think when he's not even accepted into the right?
Grifting.
These are weird examples to come up with, Vaush. Like, I get the point, and Contra's talked about this too, right? That you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar, and sometimes like just going off on somebody about what a chud they are, if you want to change their mind, maybe not be the best tactic. And, you know, you don't want to walk around with a stick up your ass, like, right, accepted. Like that's clear. But I feel like, you know, I feel like there's a big difference. There's a big gap in what Contra was saying and what Vaush is saying. And Contra's not even, you know, I've probably got some differences with her too. But yeah, with Vaush, this is just wild. Like, we need to be more like Tim Pool. We need to be more like Dave Rubin, but for the left.
I am totally open to talk about men's issues, and I'm sympathetic to men's issues. So what happens often, in my experience from what I've seen...
Contra described this as that she has... What did she say? I'm trying to remember how she described it. It was like she had a little, like, reactionary self inside of her larger self, right? That she remembered being reactionary. She remembered being right-wing. She could go to those places, and as such, she knew how to talk to those people, right? Which, you know, granted, like a lot of people do that came over from the right, you know, when you ask them what was the, you know, catalyst for that, they will say, I ran into a ContraPoints video. It wasn't quite what I was expecting from the left. It was, you know, somewhat disarming. And, you know, I eventually hung around, listened to her for long enough to decide that I kind of agree more with her than with my former political beliefs, right? That's a ways away from what Vaush is talking about here.
Is that I will talk about these issues in a way these guys have never heard from a lefty before. I'll say it flat out.
And they're so impressed that you're one of the good ones, yeah.
Some women are bitches. And
there we go. You can be misogynist as a leftist. That's what he's saying. Come over here. We have cookies and misogyny.
Again, you can chafe at the language, but this is tautologically true. Were it not, 4 billion aren't. Of course some women are. There are
I'm not chafing at the language.
some behaviors of toxic femininity that are really irritating.
Toxic femininity. What is anybody got an idea what is toxic femininity? Like, the only things that I could think of that are toxic femininity are things that uphold the patriarchy. If we're really talking about, like, toxic femininity, I'm thinking, like, TERFs and stuff, right? That's not coming from a place of authentic feminism. That's coming, as we've seen from so many TERFs and so many gender criticals, from a fundamentally reactionary place. That's not ma feminism, right? But do you know what is ma ad break? Is the bottom of the hour ad break, the middle of the hour ad break, which is coming at you just like the top of the hour ad break did in about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. This is your time to rise to that occasion by using a Twitch Prime sub to get out of the ad break for free, and thus bestowing lots of emotes on yourself, even animated emotes, which we need more of. If anybody can make more toxic femininity would be patriarchy or kyriarchy driven. Yeah, that's where toxicity generally comes from, right? So yeah, you can do that. You can also pay for a sub for yourself. It's $5 on desktop. It's $6 if you're on mobile. So maybe try to find a desktop, right? You could also possibly benefit from the generosity of another person. It can happen. It does happen, but it's more likely to happen to you if you're active in chat.
Yeah, men get a raw deal in some senses. But and these are true things. And once
men do get a raw deal, but it's not from feminism.
You lead them in with that.
And it's not from women.
You give them that knowledge, Yeah, the left isn't, like, delusional. We can acknowledge this. We can talk about this. And once you can start having that conversation with them, you gain the ability to start winning them over on the bigger issue.
The funny thing is that the real he's talking about kind of like psyoping the right. He's talking about kind of, play, like the way he's describing this is like, yeah, you gotta, bring them in with honey. You gotta kind of, trick them into agreeing with you, right? He is tricking people to agreeing with him, but it's not like a funnel because we talk about a pipeline. That's what, de-radicalization is often conceived of as a pipeline. We got a funnel that's Vaush, right? Because he's edgy, he's inviting, he's like, come in and eat the delicious cake. We have cake and misogyny here. Like, come on in, right? Everybody, come one, come all, right? He's like wearing a sign outside the restaurant that says "Eat at Joe's," right? But so that's one conception of it, right? Is the funnel comes out to the right, it sucks people in, and it spits them out to the left of where they were. And by the time they're through the funnel, right, they go to Vaush, they go to Contra, they go to this person, they go to that person, and eventually they come out and they're like, yeah, actually, solidarity, fuck yeah, right? But that's not usually how it works. And Vaush isn't starting out with a community that is fundamentally right-wing. Vaush is starting out with some very scared left-wingers. What are they scared of? They're scared that their ideas are not going to win in the free market of ideas, right? That their ideology is a loser. They're scared that they are soy and they are cucks and they are whatever else, negative stereotype threat you want to have of lefties. And as such, they look to a leader. They look to a hierarchy, right? This is a libertarian socialist. Why is he forming a new hierarchy instead of breaking down old ones? Because it's to his benefit, right? And the back of his sign, like I said, he's wearing that board sign that says "Eat at Joe's." The back of the sign, it says "I am Joe." That's right. That's right. He's the walrus. He's the walrus, and his audience, unfortunately, are they clams? The walrus and the carpet. The walrus and the carpet. Is it clams that they eat? It's clams, right? Is this the second time Thermia has uploaded this specific segment? Yeah, I guess I didn't see it the first time. I mean, look, thank you, Thermia, right? This is a great example of what Vaush is really about. And the problem that I have with him is that he's not a funnel, he's not a pipeline that's going from right to left. He's going from left to right. He's taking those scared leftists, those leftists that feel like their ideology isn't enough in itself. Their ideology can't win the day. and he's basically introducing right-wing anti-SJW ideas to him. So that's what he is. He's a leftist anti-SJW. In other words, something we really don't need, and something that's not beneficial, right? It just takes his community and makes it less welcoming to marginalized people, in this case, women. So,
and that's what
it's oysters. It's oysters. Okay, sorry. I was like, I know it's something, like he's some kind of bivalve, right? That they eat. Who's the carpenter then? Is Xanderhall the carpenter? I don't know. Vaush is not part of the pipeline he thinks he is. He's actually a cul-de-sac off of that pipeline. Absolutely. Yeah, or even like a pipeline that has a lot of backflow to it, right? And that's the problem, the backflow. That's what I'm worried about. Like I said before, and I always say this, I don't hate Vaush. I don't even hate guys like Vaush. I'm kind of a gym rat, Chad. I'm familiar with guys like Vaush. I have, plenty of friends that are like him, and yeah, they're like rough around the edges and everything, but I don't have a problem getting along with them, but they're not trying to sell right-wing politics on the left, right? That's what I have a problem with. The backflow. That's what I have an issue with. Nothing else, right? It's not personal. This is not mean. I'm not angry. I'm not trying to scold him. I don't think I'm better than him. I'm not on my high horse or any of the other thought-terminating cliches that this guy's going to throw at you to convince you not to listen to me, right? I'm not crazy. I don't have a giant dossier of files on every streamer out there. Okay, I don't have a giant. If you want to see into the famous dossier, right? Oops, forgot to put any files in it. Yeah, because it never existed. Come on, that's cap. That's always been cap. Everybody knows that's cap. And everybody knows why that was put out, to hide the dirt of the people making those accusations, to hide the dirt of people like apartheid anime girl, aristocracy, ethnostocracy, right? It's it's a fucking Jedi mind trick, and I think people have about seen through it. So,
make an effort to do. You lead them.
Sorry, Sith mind trick. I don't know.
Leftists will talk about how like men are kind of fucked in dating. Like, yeah, I will talk about how like men are shamed for their appearance and height in ways that women aren't, and that can fuck them over, and it really sucks,
I agree, but I don't see that as being, to the extent that that's a problem with women. That's women who have accepted the patriarchy. That's women who've internalized the patriarchy, right? And for the most part, that shit is, these are rules that are enforced on guys by other guys. So Vaush, again, what's that got to do with me? What's that got to do with feminism? What's that got to do with any of this stuff?
And now, hey, do you want to hear about something called like toxic masculinity? It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean masculinity's toxic. It just means that there are like expectations that we have that are really fucked. Like, that's
part of toxic masculinity. What you're describing. Shitting on other men because they're not tall enough, or even like women, like like disrespecting men because they don't match a masculine ideal. That is literally what we're talking about there. That is literally toxic masculinity. That's the driving force behind what you're worried about. I do agree that that's a problem. I don't want men or anybody to have to be judged by these patriarchal standards. It's bullshit, and you should be free of it. And you can be liberated from it, but it's going to take some feminism. And that's what guys like Vaush don't want to hear. Because they think of feminism, and they think of BuzzFeed, they think of Jezebel, they think of, like, maybe even Natalie Wolf if they're old school enough. They think of a bunch of fucking grifters, right? Who were selling girl boss feminism along with, what is it? The... Live, laugh, love, or something. I'm trying to think back to 2014, right, to get in that mindset, right? But yeah, some bullshit feminism definitely existed, but the problem with it wasn't that it was too feminist. It was that it wasn't really feminist. It was just, it was just commercialized feminism.
Like expecting men to always pay for the date, huh? Am I right, fellas? No.
Is there some good stuff in Jezebel? I don't know. I've never read it.
That, hey, and you win them in with this. And I think this is like a really... Because it's not dishonest. I'm not.
You win them in with this, Vaush, but who's going to win you in?
I'm not like.
What is it going to take to win you in? What is it going to take to realize that you have nothing to lose but your patriarchal chains.
To anyone.
Vaush, I want to free you as much as I want to free anybody else, right? You deserve that freedom. You don't need to be subject to these bullshit standards.
I'm just trying to show them that I'm not dogmatically opposed to talking about these topics. And I think that, that wins their trust. And that's what I try to go for.
So if I understand you correctly, I don't want to put...
Look, I do think that there's maybe a way to do what he's describing, but I don't think he's doing it right. Like, I'm concerned for men and for everybody, right? I don't like to see anybody suffer under the boot heel of oppression.
Words in your mouth. You're saying that you intentionally use incel framing of certain issues if they, are true in...
How do you think he's going to react to this, chat? He's not going to like this. You use incel framing, Vaush.
Some sense to try and draw in people from that community to move them along, whatever spectrum from right to left. If I understand you correctly, is that what you're saying?
I'll talk about issues that are important to them, but I don't adopt their framing. I don't, for example, defend the concept of hypergamy or espouse any of the...
Okay, so a hypergamy is an idea, if you're not familiar, that, what is it, like that 80% of women are attracted to 20% of men, something like that. The ratios may be different depending on what incel that you talk to, but it's basically an idea that like 80% of men are doomed. The women want nothing to do with them, and all women will do with these 80% of men is use them after the woman's done riding the cock carousel. That's what they call it. The cock carousel. What's the cock carousel? It's a woman's like early 20s when she supposedly is very promiscuous with a number of those 20% of men that are ideal, that are desirable to women. And then she finds a nice guy, part of the 80%, and settles down with him, but she's really just using him. She's dirty. She's roast beef by then, right? She's been had. She's been used. She's worthless, right? And those 80, they don't want the women after they're done with the cock carousel. So, this is where all the, Sigma grind set, there's like ways around that, or maybe you can turn yourself into an alpha male, or, this is where the grifters come in too, right? They want to sell men some kind of program that's going to change their luck and move them from the 80% to the 20%, or depending on how black pilled they are, maybe that's not even possible. But that's where all this stuff, the red pill, the black pill, all this crap comes in, right? This is
red pill ideology. I don't talk about how this is because
and cheers on you, Vaush, for not reinforcing the idea of hypergamy.
Women are innately capricious or untrustworthy.
I know the cock carousel kind of sounds like fun.
Or anything. The framing is mine, and my framing is leftist. These are just issues that they're concerned about. I want to give them a better framing on issues that they have, let's say, deficient understandings of. I certainly don't think their framing of the issue is adequate or helpful at all.
I hope it makes some sort of impact, that this framing is the reason people react the way they do, is because this kind of framing, and I guess even just adopting, I think what you're talking about too is some language appropriating some of the language of the incel community, using it to mean a different...
I mean, what's wrong is not the carousel. What's wrong is the view of women that perpetuates, right? Like, you're taking insecure guys that have, questionable views on women, a lot of times like hold women responsible, because the whole nice guy thing is that, a guy feels like they are a nice guy. They see the other guys, the 20%, and they know that they're not nice guys. And yet the not nice guys are winning the day. And right. It's just kind of a self-serving, self-centered, main character-esque mentality that they tend to have, and that's really the problem, is looking at women as sluts, gold diggers, that they're either desirable and as virgins, or that there are complete roast beef and or roasties as they call women who've had any kind of sexual experience, and that they can't have relationships with that pure virginal woman in her young 20s, because they're not part of the blessed 20%. It's like a self-hating point of view. and it's a misogynistic point of view. It's an anti-woman kind of point of view, and I'm glad that Vaush doesn't buy into that.
Thing and a different way to try and attract them. I think that type of thing, I think you understand why I think it could make people nervous. I mean, I get your initial.
I know, right, Leroy Jenkins?
I just want to say, though, really quickly, I just want to say, keep in mind, I'm not adopting the framing, only truthful points on some issues of men's experiences, you know? If I was on Twitter just saying women are bitches or whatever, you know, I get what I get there, but I don't do that. I don't think people on the left should be lambasted.
Look, there's a ton of different ways to be oppressed, and you don't have to have, like, you know, 17 axes of oppression, like, to do that, right? Most people experience some kind of oppression, right? Even if they have a lot of privilege.
For saying the true stuff, though, you know, like the negative experiences that men can have.
And that's the irony of the hierarchy, because, like, you know, I mentioned the patriarchy earlier as the source of supposedly toxic femininity, as well as the source of toxic masculinity. But if we look at the bigger picture, if we kind of back up away from just like the concept, you know, away from just feminist concepts, we can take a look at a larger structure, a larger hierarchical structure, and there's a name for this thing. Like, if you combine all forms of oppression, all forms of privilege together, what you've got is the hierarchy, and the beneficiaries of the hierarchy are few and far between. It's a pyramid, it's a club, and most people aren't in the VIP lounge of that club, right? Very, very few people are. So it should be easy to form bonds of solidarity and to work to debase the vertical nature of this hierarchy and come up with something that's a little bit more horizontal. That is the goal of a supposed libertarian socialist, but this is a libertarian socialist gone wrong.
Specific to their gender, or at least associated with it.
Just wouldn't be surprised if your pipeline occasionally even works in the backward direction, though. I mean, that's a topic for a different time.
Based chatter. Hey, look, if this chatter, sometimes we end up meeting these people, right? Sometimes we end up, like, sometimes somebody that's like had a debate with Vaush or had a debate with, you know, somebody that I'm talking about ends up coming in here and having a conversation. I would love to talk to this chatter. If this chatter finds this content, please get a hold of me.
But that's where we disagree, because I think that as a man, all men already know what I'm saying. That some women are bitches and capricious and liars. And that, well, of course.
Look, there's bad people everywhere, okay? But Jesus Christ, did you have to use that terminology? Really?
Of course, obviously, everyone is. That there are experiences that men have that are specifically kind of fucked, and how, like, men's appearance.
See, like, I don't know if they're as specific as you think they are. I feel like a lot of the specificity that you're, you know, putting out there, like that you're assuming, is really coming from a kind of masculine exceptionalism that's practiced, right? Where, by the virtue of the hierarchy, by the virtue of male privilege, I'm sorry, but I have to say it because it does exist, male privilege, right? I'm sorry if this hurts your feelings, but male privilege, right? By the virtue of this, you're getting
some women are bitches and capricious and liars. And that, well, of course, obviously, everyone is. That there are experiences that men have that are specifically.
Yeah, the specific experience, right? You're taking yourself out of the rest of the world. And I know where you're doing it. It's a function of that privilege, right? And when you have, you know, areas in life which you are legitimately oppressed in, as I said, most people do, right? Most people don't roll, like, you know, 3 6s on the privilege scale, right? That's few and far between. You're seeing yourself as separate from the rest of the world, because it's not really about men and women. I hope that on the left, I hope that at least in Vaush's community, we know that gender is not binary, and therefore you can't really propose a model using a binary like view of gender, a model that's accurate. So you're really talking about like men seeing themselves as fundamentally different, fundamentally separate, and in some ways exceptional. And once you give up on that exceptional, self image, you're gonna find that you have a lot more in common with people that aren't men than you realize. And that's what I want for men, right? That's a big way that men are oppressed by the patriarchy, by the thing that's supposed to be benefiting them, by the thing that they're holding on to with their fingernails, clawing into it to just try to keep from being swept away, right?
Kind of fucked, and how like men's
God, I keep on using like aquatic metaphors.
appearances are judged in ways that women's aren't, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, like I mean, there's different ways that they're judged, but the fact that those standards are patriarchal standards, please recognize this.
I think most men know that. Talk to a guy who's under 6 feet tall and ask him how he feels about women and their standards of men's height, and you're going to see him try to choke back tears.
See, I look, I could be hard. And I could be a bitch, and I could just laugh at that. But that's not honestly how I feel, right? I do feel compassion for people that are choking back tears based on being judged by these bullshit standards.
Men get this already. The left just won't talk about it. So men on the left have to pretend they don't experience these things because if...
Gosh, I just wish you wouldn't assume that yours is the only way of talking about this stuff. I'm talking about it right now, too, and I'm doing it without misogyny.
They do acknowledge them, they'll be ousted from their progressive communities, and men outside of the left think people in the left are insane for...
No, what they're going to do is they're going to put out red flags that makes other people feel unsafe, and they're ousted to the extent that they're ousted from their... They have too much power, let's be real, to be ousted from any community, but to the extent that they get some shit, they get some smoke, they get some blowback, right? That's coming from the fact that they're making other people feel unsafe.
Pretending these obviously true things aren't,
Yeah, it just seems like some weird framing to me, because it almost seems like I don't...
Oh, yo, is he getting attacked by an octopus?
know how to respond to it in a way that
What is this game? This is Subnautica, right?
doesn't fall into maybe some perceived sensitivity things you're
This actually looks like fun.
talking about, but...
Well, do you disagree with the empirics of what I'm saying? That these are issues and that acknowledging them is not dishonest at all?
Like you say empirics, but like the assumption there is that the only objective way of viewing this is through your lens.
So I'm not very tall.
It's Subnautica.
And I think that they're definitely...
Does anybody know, is this on Xbox Game Pass? I should get this, maybe.
At one point in my life that made me feel self-conscious, like, man, there's all this discourse about...
Yo, the octopus has him!
Being taller and...
Watch out, Vaush!
How it changes your life and how it's gonna change your income and blah, 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 blah.
It does. Tall people earn more on average. They're more respected. The taller presidential candidate has won, I believe, every time since television became a standard in presidential debates. There's real systemic discrimination against shorter men. It just feels weird
I got no problem with that.
to say, because it's like, oh, heightism with men? This isn't an issue with women, by the way.
It is. It's maybe just, operates in a different way, right? Like that there's an ideal height for women and that it's...
Women don't get judged for being shorter, at least not in nearly the same way, because being tall is considered
But wait, would you know? Have you really paid attention? Do you really care? Or are you just making these assumptions?
masculine, so wouldn't come back and hit women the same way. But that's a real thing. There have been more black presidents in the past half century than there have short presidents. It's a real bias. It just sounds stupid to address, right? Like, oh yeah, there's black discrimination, and then there's shortism or whatever. Here's another one. You know how black people, specifically black men, are likely to get longer sentences for the same crimes with the same priors than white convicts?
Yeah.
That difference is triple the size between men and women with the same crimes and priors. The difference.
Okay, so now he's going to explain in a second why he knows this, like where he got this knowledge from. And it actually tells us a lot about, the perspective that Vaush is coming from. But right now, I just want to say that, yeah, there is. So she's talking about, like, there's a disparity in sentences based on race. Now, I can't confirm this, right? I haven't looked at the data. Neither has the chatter. Vaush isn't going to show it to anybody. And so, it's, citation needed. Okay. But assuming that what he's saying is true, which is that there is a greater disparity in the difference of sentencing of men for the same crime versus women, why is that? I hate to say it, but it's the patriarchy. Once again, it's the patriarchy, right? This idea that women are meek and harmless and men are inherently violent and dangerous, that's a patriarchal notion. Again, your own problem is the thing that you're clutching onto for dear life. Like, the thing that's hurting you is that thing that you refuse to let go of.
Bias between
this thing that seems to be so tied up with your identity, and which is weird from a supposed gender abolitionist like Vaush.
black people and white people is a third the difference between men and women for the same crime.
But again, I don't know. I can't speak to whether this is, like, these are real, whether these are data that we should trust or not. I don't know.
Crimes with the same priors, which is insane. Like, whoa, misandry affects the justice system to the point that it literally triples the...
It's not misandry, it's the patriarchy, bud. Right? That literally comes from patriarchal notions. A mythologizing of the difference between, biological differences between, I guess, like, an estrogen dominant system and a testosterone dominant system, which, like, I mean, there are differences, right? But those differences get turned into these mythological things and get exaggerated, when in actuality, if you look at something like performance in various sports, you're going to see two bell curves of, men and women, and you're going to see that, like, the middle of the male one, and maybe it's higher in a lot of things than the middle of the bell curve for women, but you're also going to see a whole bunch of overlap. And that's the mythology, is that these are completely separate, right? That being a man, whatever that means, makes you stronger than being a woman, right? And that's where the disparity of sentences comes from.
Empirical product of racism in sentencing?
I just don't think that's quite... you're doing some things that I don't think are quite, like, recommended when you're thinking about survey datas or measurements. Like,
are we not just uncomfortable with addressing this at all? Because I'm using the same data standards by which we address sentencing bias between black and white people. So if we disregard...
See, but, like, we're left in a situation where you've either got to be skeptical, like the chatter is, right? And I mean, there's, like, the way that the chatter is describing this is a bit of a reflexive, sort of protective, defensive, sort of knee-jerk. But we don't really have a reason to take Vaush's assessment at face value. I will say, though, that even if his assessment is 100% correct, it doesn't change the underlying belief that I have that these, I'm like the sentencing disparities, which sounds like logical that might exist, due to patriarchy, not due to feminism. It's not that the judge is like, yo, I'm a feminist, I gotta send this guy to throw the book at this guy, and the woman comes through with the same exact crime. Oh no, let's treat you with kid gloves because of feminism. That's not what goes on. Come on, who do you think judges are for the most part, right?
The misandristic difference, we have to disregard the racial difference.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying, like, if you go looking at what not people on the internet but criminologists are saying about sentencing difference between like white people and black people, I think there's specifically, I should say, from my point of view, I think America has a lot of racism problems, but I also think it has a lot of anti-black problems. So sometimes, I'll just say, black people and white people, just because I get.
Also, chat, make sure that, you like and subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying this content. If this is a take that refreshes you at all, I apologize to those chatters that I am not getting to right now. I promise that if there's something that you really need me to address, hit me with a super chat. That'll actually like interrupt me, and if you want to get my attention that way. But I will check in with chat after this segment. I want this to. I'm thinking this should probably be a video, so that's why I'm paying excessive attention to Vaush and his interlocutor, as President Sunday would say. What else would you say, Sunday?
This is going bad.
Really? I thought I was going good. Well, anyway.
Yeah. That's like a whole field of research, and they put a lot of work into measuring those statistics correctly. And there's not a lot of
With respect,
researchers.
I hate to call you out on this, but this is the kind of stuff that I hear from white nationalists.
Look, I hate to call you out on this, but this is a useless conversation in absence of, an actual study and like a deep look into the methodology and into the, right? You can't just make these assessments like ad hoc like this. It's two ignorant people fighting over something that we're not actually looking at, so it's meaningless.
Very strong academic and sociological consensus in what I've described to you, and now you're saying like, well, was the research rigorous enough?
No, what we're saying, Vaush, is that we can't exactly take your word for it. No offense, man.
The only reason you're saying this is because you're biased against the outcome. And
I'm not.
Can deny that, but like, again, this isn't difficult to see. Measuring different groups of people and their sentencing and conviction durations with the same crimes and priors and everything, that's a pretty easy thing to control for. I would know. The sociology and criminology departments in my university were merged. I was president of the Sociology Criminology Club. I did studies like this and worked with...
Okay. So a lot of you may know that Vaush is a sociology major. He talks about it all the time. He flexes that he flexes that BS in sociology quite substantially, right? But something that I've always heard and never heard substantiated, that's why I don't talk about it that much, because I want to make sure that I'm not selling you pork pies. I don't know is that a real I can't tell if these are real gift memberships, but if they are, thank you to whoever gave hello there, Dame Owl and Shani gift memberships. I'm not sure if it's real, right? Sometimes my software plays tricks on me. Sometimes I give myself the creeps, right? And I can't tell for sure if those are real, but if they are, thank you, anonymous benefactor. If that's what's going on. Also, if you are watching me on Twitch, understand that we are coming up to the top of the hour ad break. That means that you will be served with 1 minute and 30 seconds, up to 1 minute and 30 seconds of ads. If that does not sound like a good time for you, you have 1 minute and 30 seconds to get out of that. How do you get out of that? By using a Twitch Prime for free. For free, no cost to you, puts money in my pocket, helps me pay the bills, helps me keep coming to you multiple times a week and in debunking this nonsense. You can get that for free with a Twitch Prime sub if you have Prime. You can also get out of it by paying $5 to Twitch on desktop, $6 on mobile, or if you're lucky enough to benefit from somebody else's generosity, possibly through a gift sub. Although you are taking a chance, it's not a sure thing, and it's more likely to happen if you're active in the chat. But anyway, this is
me who did studies like this. My baccalaureate thesis was on the criminal justice system, and I led council groups on the same. I worked with...
Okay, so there we go. His criminology and his sociology departments in his university merged, right? What I've heard is that there's like two types of sociology. One is geared towards things like criminology. It's the kind of major that somebody that might go into law enforcement would take, or criminology would take, right? That's one kind of sociology. And then there's the sociology that is, what do you call it? It's a conflict theory, like based, right? That, it centers around like, conflicts such as class conflict or any other kind of hierarchy, right? And what he's saying is that in his school, the criminology and the sociology department had merged. So you're kind of taking one, major that is that is, I don't know, an amalgamation, a combination of the two. That sort of explains a lot about Vaush right there. And I'm not using this to, dog somebody on their degree. It's hard to know what school you want to go to and what you want to take, when you're going through your undergrad work, which, that's what Vaush is flexing, is his undergrad, as if it makes him some sort of intellectual, even if it was like a BA in sociology, as we're used to thinking of it, right? He got a BA in a very different type of sociology as a lot of sociology majors. So just understand that, understand where he's coming from.
Trust me, it's a real issue, but nobody wants to talk about anti-male bias in the criminal because it sounds dumb, and I know that it sounds dumb.
I'll talk about it
because I had to have these conversations with people, and it sounds really dumb to bring it up. Oh, what men?
I'll talk about how it stems from misogyny too. I hope you don't mind.
Are having problem? Well, yeah, actually. So
it doesn't sound dumb. To my ear, it sounds like something that's difficult to measure, and it sounds like something that you'd have to would have to.
Yo, he's getting attacked.
Control for.
Watch out, Vaush. What is that thing?
That's what they've.
Is it like a combination of a shark and a stingray?
We should have faith in the peer.
That looks like some ancient prehistoric fish.
Shouldn't we? Unless you have some specific counter evidence to.
Well, I guess maybe this is just
but Vaush, you haven't presented any evidence. You're just saying I read a study. Believe me, source, believe me.
Belying some ignorance in social
source, trust me, bro.
Measurements, but I don't think I've seen very many high-powered studies looking at sentencing differences between men and women.
Would you like to look at some? Because again,
Vaush, this would be a great place to link your source, right?
I don't mean to be dismissive, but you're rejecting something of which you have no knowledge.
But anyway, regardless, I'm not rejecting the fact that the possibility that this could be something that he's seen and he's properly characterizing, and it's in line with the preponderance of the research in the field. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I don't doubt that there is at least some disparity in sentencing just based on based on gender alone.
Right? This is an anti-intellectual reaction. This is a subject you don't know about, which is fine. I don't know tons of things, but your innate response.
That's true. That's true.
Is
I won't argue with you there, Vaush.
Well, I think that it's difficult to measure stuff like that. Well,
sure. No, the especially the way I'm verbalizing it, the skepticism I'm expressing is unfair because it's not exactly skepticism searching out some sort of greater truth. It's just skepticism.
But is it that difficult to imagine? One of the standards of patriarchy is the understanding that women are innately delicate and weak.
Did you just identify the source of that disparity as patriarchy?
And men are strong and violent. And if people believe those things, which they sure as shit do, it makes sense that men would be sentenced for longer. They're perceived as greater social threats. For thousands of years, men are killed when villages are raided, and the women are captured.
So why are you putting this on the left? Why are you putting this on feminism? I don't get it.
There's a long-standing, I would almost say, tradition of underestimating the violent potential of women. So it makes sense that when it comes to sentencing, people would be more lenient. They find women more sympathetic, like dogs, which is another component of patriarchal bias against women that we pay.
What? Like dogs?
Patronize
Yeah. I think what makes
What is he? What is it? Didn't he? Wow. What is that about?
me just not sure is yeah, I guess I would just have to see because maybe there is a robust history on measuring these things and looking at a full suite of controls. It's when for example, when these things are looked at, white versus black, they sort people by individual area code, its socioeconomic status, level of education. There's a lot of work put in to make sure you're making an apples to apples comparison. And
so the chatter is identifying the propensity of a single study to be misleading in what the the data and the conclusion are, right? And in general, this is a good practice to have some skepticism, to not, inform yourself solely by a single study that seems to conform to the viewpoint that you're wanting to say. That being said, like I said, it's perfectly possible, and in fact maybe likely, that there is at least some disparity in sentencing.
I'm curious about. I don't want to, sit and pontificate on something I've never seen.
That would be silly, right? That would be a waste of both of your time.
I'm not an idiot, so.
But are we not sitting and pontificating?
Yeah, sure, but I mean, it's something that you're more knowledgeable about than I am. I mean, it'd be idiotic for me to just sit here and tell you my thoughts on something that I'm ignorant of, or at least I don't know. I think so.
There's I believe it's well studied enough that there's actually a Wikipedia article on it. I didn't mean to get in a debate on that specifically. It's kind of tangential to what we're talking about broadly.
Yeah.
There's a Wikipedia. Come on, Vaush. This is the rap against you. There's a Wikipedia article about it. It feels like I've put up an AI parody of Vaush. I promise you I haven't. This is the real Vaush. This is a real, segment on one of his clip channels, one of his, the fan clip channels that post his clips. Like, this is legitimately Vaush. This is not a parody that is just, serving my interest of showing you where I disagree with the guy. But yeah, it doesn't
point out,
perfect clip.
I think you've kind of demonstrated what I guess what I wanted. You've fallen into my brilliant trap here.
No, Vaush. It is you who have fallen into my brilliant trap.
Which is that people are innately uncomfortable addressing men's issues, oh, well, I think that maybe the study wasn't done properly, or maybe this is difficult to control for, or such. Well, you didn't know that. You couldn't have known that, but it's what you went to.
But the caller doesn't have any ability to know that in the absence of being shown this information. So why are you lording yourself over somebody who's not even a debate streamer, ostensibly, based on your superior knowledge, familiarity with one study from your criminology/sociology department? I mean, Vaush, this is weak. This is really weak, right?
So,
and I only say this because you're acting so arrogantly, right? That's the issue that I have, right? Is that we're not just dealing, with ignorance. We're dealing with ignorance to the power of arrogance.
And I don't think this is just a you thing. I just think, like, we're as leftists, we're very conditioned to reject people who jump up and say, like, oh, what about men? Because 99% of the time, the people who are jumping up screaming, well, what about men, are like huge pieces of shit. I don't deny this at all.
Well, and there's a lot of bullshit science on the internet, honestly. So, I mean, pharmacology is my specialty, and a good 70% of the time when people are quoting something, they're quoting like the minority's opinion on the research. I mean, COVID was like this times 1 million. They're quoting the minority position on the research, and it's just like not even properly done in the most basic aspects. So it's like my immediate reaction when encountering something that I'm not familiar with on the internet to just be a little bit like more skeptical than I normally would. But I mean, I do admit it does sound ridiculous on its face to talk about men's heights, and does it really have an effect? I mean, I'm sort of, my base reaction is I'm a little bit skeptical. I would say maybe some, but also something that's just intrinsically difficult to measure because height is so tied to so many other things like, your nutrition. And we know that there's a mechanical link between, nutrition and people's ability to be.
Okay, so I feel like we've got what we're gonna get out of this clip. I don't want to watch I'm not trying to watch the entire thing. He doesn't give a shit about trans men. Yeah, I very rarely heard him, even include trans men in what he's talking about, let alone speak about trans men specifically. Fun fact: if you Google Vaush, did he graduate? It says his real name is Stephen Bunnell. Yo, that's got to be a meme. Again, little people are disabled by heights and ableism, but they don't give a crap about those community. Ditto for trans men. What a huge self-report by Vaush. He's a huge, I guess that's a piece of shit emoji. There's a Wikipedia article, right? I need proof Vaush even Vaush even going to that. Look, I'm taking him as his word, right? I'm being good faith here. Probably too good faith. Vaush on his weird MRA stuff again. Yeah, that's what we just witnessed, right? Once again, and that's the thing about Vaush, right? Is that, you know, if you're coming to his community as like a large community in the online left space, you're gonna see some things that check out, that seem okay. Like there's some issues that he's not particularly bad about, right? But there are some issues, which tend to coincide with axes of privilege that Vaush experiences, that are just really bad, that are really, really bad. And I feel like this doesn't just hurt Vaush and his community in terms of not being exactly like a welcoming place for people who are on the other end of that privilege stick, on the oppression end, but I think it hurts the left in general, and specifically the online left. It's usually said as like a derisive term when we talk about the online left. You're usually kind of throwing some shade at it, and there's a reason for that, and it's shit like this. Shit like this is algorithmic fuel. You combine anti-SJW aesthetics with like leftist or really anti-SJW viewpoint with leftist aesthetics, and you come up with this, and unfortunately this bangs in the algorithm. We're trying to fight back here, and if you want to join that fight, there are a number of ways that you can support me on YouTube, on Twitch, on Patreon. You can support me through subs, through memberships, through even gifting other people memberships or subs, through donations and super chats. There's a number of ways, whichever works best for you, because we've got all these different ways. And you can also support me over on Patreon, and I appreciate greatly everybody who does that. You're the only reason that I'm able to come here and give you streams as often as I do, and it's only by virtue of your generosity that I'm able to do this. So yeah, I'm really thankful for all my supporters out there. How are we, chat? How are we doing? Soul Life makes Stream Elements. Soul Life makes a Stream Elements version. What? Stream Elements pretend you're... Oh god, yeah, we gotta get Nightbot, don't we? We do need to clean some things up. Like, right, I feel like if I could get Nightbot and a few other things, I might be able to leave Stream Elements behind, because I'd like to. There's some What's up, Katie? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the compliment on my hair clip. I appreciate that. How are you doing? We're drinking Mile High coffee today. Thought that I have some Mile High coffee for a change. You're tired. Yeah, me too. 58. Oh yeah, only 50 likes. That's another way. I forgot to mention that, right? Because like there's some people that want to support me, but they do not have the financial means to do so. And if you're in that boat, like seriously, take care of yourself first. I want you to take care of yourself first, because it's sometimes the people with the least means to support me that feel the duty to support me. But understand that your duty is first and foremost to support yourself and those around you, and take care of yourself. And even if you're not in a position to support me financially in any sort of way, can do a lot with your thumbs. Okay, like I said, one of our thumbs by itself is pretty weak. We get beat, we get crushed, we get clapped, right? But if we put our thumbs together, we're mighty and we're strong, and we can stand up to these assholes, right? So I appreciate your thumbs as well. Almost more than 8 haters. Wait, you can see the number of oh, I see what you're saying. 8 people who are watching the stream and obviously did not like the stream. So if you're one of those persons, please correct yourself before Bad Lefty calls you out. But yeah, supporting the sub goal is great because it also allows me to stream for a little bit longer than I otherwise do, right? I've got a limited amount of time. I've got to try to do everything I can with the time, and so I prioritize that according to the level of support I get. If I'm not getting enough support to sustain myself, it really tells me that I need to spend some other times on some more time on other activities, like to grow the community and you know, maybe to do things outside of stream. So if you want me coming back here you know, regularly with good content, you know, supporting through super chats, supporting through memberships, supporting through subs or bits or what have you, really, I do not care which you know, helps me out a lot, and getting that to that sub goal also extends the length of the stream. But either way, I appreciate everybody here. So yeah, we got to cover some Keffals stuff too. I'm like not looking forward to this, right, chat? I'm not looking forward to this. I haven't really seen this. But apparently I got a mention. Now it's not, don't take this out of, you know, don't I don't want to put like this isn't Keffals is not doing it like a drama stream specifically about me, right? It's only a mention. It's only a mention and a little confession of Keffals' true feelings about yours truly, who I didn't think that Keffals would even notice. I don't think there's like a reason to necessarily notice me, but she's noticing the drama streamers and calling them out, which is a little bit ironic considering that Keffals' content these days is like 100% drama. It hasn't always been like that. And I haven't always been a detractor of Keffals. I was a supporter of Keffals when Keffals was doing legitimately good things. And you know, when Keffals turned on her own community, I couldn't support that. So again, I don't hate Vaush. I don't hate Keffals. What's blowing up? She still didn't apologize for using my name? What, Keffals did? Wait, when did or did I do that? I'm trying to figure out what chat is talking about. I think it's one of those things like how you can find a better dev board than Raspberry Pi for the same price, but everyone, oh my god, this is nerd stuff. I don't understand this. Chat, you gotta help me. Keffals. Okay, Keffals used your name? Oh, was that like in a clip that we went over like last I feel like I remember that happening like last week. I mean, you're blowing up because you got a hate mention. Yeah, well, I don't want to get, I'm not like excited about it or anything like that. Like I wasn't going for that. I'm not trying to get Keffals attention. I don't think that I can reach Keffals. I think that she's made up her mind. Like with Keffals, it's like, you know, like I said, she's done legitimately good work before, and now she's not. She's attacking people, she's hurting people, she's doing seemingly whatever she can do to inject some drama into her stream because she fundamentally doesn't believe in herself. She doesn't believe in her own creative potential to make content that people enjoy, and instead has just, like, you know, become somebody who attacks anyone who she perceives as having like slighted her in any kind of way. And there's a lot of good people getting caught up in the crossfire. That's something that I don't appreciate. That's why we cover this stuff, unfortunately. But you understand, it's not any like hatred or vitriol that you know, I'm not like you know, I'm not perturbed by the fact that she mentioned me. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen with the amount of coverage that I have given her as of late, which I sometimes wonder if it's a mistake. I don't know, chat. You know, you can tell me. But yeah, we have a clip of Keffals versus random small streamer chick. Now understand, like I said, this isn't primarily about me, right? Keffals, I don't think that Keffals has NCC derangement syndrome. I don't think she's obsessed with me. She does mention me here, and I'm assuming it's probably because she's come across like one of my thumbnails, one of my Twitter posts, which, you know, again, those are the pinned tweets, right, are the Twitter posts if you want to go support me over there on Twitter. But yeah, she's seen like probably, you know, thumbnails and titles. I don't get the feeling that she's like watched a lot of my content. So that's why I'm not trying to build your hopes up, or like, I don't know if they're hopes or fears really. With Keffals, I'd say more along the lines of fears, because a lot of people that Keffals talk about it, they end up experiencing some legit harassment. And when she does stuff like, you know, puts people's personal information on her stream, like, even if she's not specifically doxing, if you have that strict definition where it's like, you got to have a name, you got to have an address, you got to have this, you got to have that, or else it's not a dox, right? Which is what Keffals community's kind of like hanging their hats on, saying we're not as bad as Kiwi Farms. Yeah, you're a little too close though, right? You shouldn't be anywhere in that neighborhood, but that is absolutely the neighborhood. Oh my God, Computer Bailey. Thank you for the subscription. That is a 7-month streak for you. And I appreciate your support. I appreciate all of your support. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to, make this into anything that it's not. It's not. I'm not like excited to see my name referenced by Keffals, mainly because like I don't interpret this as a situation where I can actually change what Keffals is doing. I don't think that going, talking to Keffals or talking about Keffals is gonna make Keffals change the way she lives, right? I think that only Keffals can open her heart and, whisper of a dream that she might sometime do that. That doesn't seem to be the road that she's taken at the moment. So let's just see what's going on with Keffals. And this might be kind of a short stream today. We'll just judge it on the sub goals and see if we have time for more content or not. I do have more content. I always have more content for you. I collect it. I curate it. I catalog it. I bookmark it. Some might even say, chat, that I have an entire dossier of content ready for you if we ever have time for it. But somehow, despite the fact that the bad lady has been collecting dirt on all streamers, especially the big ones, for over 2 years now, she still has not done the massive manifesto where she calls out everybody for being problematic. So yeah, I guess I just didn't have time for that stuff. Anyway, let's take a look and see what Keffals had to say. Like I said, I'm not trying to overblow this or anything like that. It's the rainy day dossier. Someday we'll get to it. Someday we'll see why we have to disavow everyone in leftist content creation. All right, what does Keffals have for us today? Oh yeah, and the one thing, like, Keffals, if you do watch this, I don't know if I'm not assuming that you watch this. Like I said, I think you probably see my titles, you see my thumbnails, and you don't like what you see. You don't like being portrayed as Ebenezer Scrooge. I can understand that. But if you do end up seeing this, the only thing that I really want from you, because I like I said, I don't think I'm going to change what you're doing. I don't think that I'm going to change your outlook on content or, who you attack or don't attack for content, right? But the one thing that I would ask of you is you lied about Zara like a year ago, right? Somebody that had just started out creating content. And I think that's really unfair. And I think that you owe her an apology and some clarification on your stream that you lied about her. Like, you said that she had problems with gender non-conforming people. Chat, if you know Zara, you know that that's cap. That is bullshit. And I wish you would do the right thing and clarify it. I, don't have my hopes particularly up about that, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, let's get to Keffals, and then we will see if we will move forward with the stream or if it will be a very short stream today. Only time and the sub goal can tell.
So, before we get into this debate, I need to scold the chat again.
Does anybody know, like, what she was debating? What, like, was it Lavloon and some other Destiny orbiter? I can't remember who it was. I heard about this, but I don't know anything about the debate.
For doing exactly what I said not to do in the last stream.
Okay, what did she say not to do in the last stream?
So true.
I'm worried, chat. Is she gonna destroy me?
See, in the last stream, I was like, all of these little drama streamers who are kind of like trying to instigate a fight with me over stuff that's...
Just so you know, Keffals, I'm not trying to instigate a fight with you. Like I said, I don't bear you any particular malice. I disagree with a lot of what you do, but I will say that when you're looking like off center and up to the right and stuff like that, you kind of present like a less than trustworthy image. This is just a body language thing, right? And I know you probably want to be trusted. You need the trust of your community. You need them to believe in some things that are kind of hard to believe in the first place, right? And this isn't exactly doing it. So I don't know.
Quite frankly, none of their business. I said like
it's none of their business. Keffals, you just put up somebody's dad's name. You want to talk about none of their business?
just don't talk about them. Don't give them oxygen.
So the same thing that Hassan tells his community about Keffals. Only if we remember correctly, the Hassan meltdown stream, which Keffals covered with glee, absolute glee, right? Like Hassan was saying, don't give them oxygen, while giving her oxygen, while name checking her, while specifically referring to this meaningless nothing burger of a manifesto that she presented on PowerPoint, the most boring of all formats, a format that we've all suffered through in our academic careers, or, it's some corporate thing, or, and like, right, PowerPoint's not fun, but that's what we get. We get a PowerPoint with Keffals, nothing burger allegations against Hassan. And yet we find Keffals making the same mistake, the same unforced error that Hassan did, which probably gave some clout to Keffals. Hassan has a rule, no free clout, but sometimes in a moment of weakness, he violates that rule. I'm thinking that's kind of what we're seeing from Keffals.
And then immediately drama posting in the Discord decided, let's actually do that and give them more oxygen. Yeah, so Enzo said in the Discord the other night, so Tomfoolery has been streaming for nearly 7 hours, and when he heard he was brought up on stream, he changed the name of the stream to Keffals talking smack about me, and then spent 2 hours on like a 15-20 minute.
Oh no, what's that, chat? Do you see that? What do you see? Somebody posted my video. And this wasn't really about Vaush. I mean, maybe we were talking about, I think we were talking about Zan and Keffals a little bit, but we were mainly talking about Vaush and Luna Oi here, right? That's who you see here, but that's my video. That's my video.
Just like a 15-20 minute rant about how much I hate this kind of like drama sharking shit. Like, people call me a drama farmer. It's like,
I wonder why.
I don't usually get involved in other people's shit like that. But then, like, for instance, the food shops thing, like, someone posted this because food shops apparently saw that I responded and put out another one of these videos, but this video, her videos don't even get like 100 views. You gotta understand that when they have absolutely no clout and you're giving them that kind of attention, they are going to benefit.
So Keffals is right about this. You should not give attention to a random small streamer chick who might have put your face and your name in one or more of her thumbnails, might have even photoshopped it a little bit to, give you like an Ebenezer Scrooge hat. Might have even put you in there with Hassan as the ghost of Christmas Present and Xander Hull as Tiny Tim, right? You don't need to respond to that. Why would you? You've got many more viewers, right?
From it. And there is no benefit.
Look, she gives herself such good advice, chat. You got to admit that. She gives herself such good advice, but she very seldom follows it.
Benefit from me or our community engaging them. Like, it's one thing if it's someone with a platform, but when it's like a literal whomegalol, there's no point.
Completely agree.
Like, you don't need to discourse over every single person with like 200 subscribers. There's absolute, like, the reason that they do this kind of shit is because they want this community to engage with it.
I don't want engagement from that community. So like, right, like, look, I'm not mad at being called a clout shark or whatever the hell, clout goblin, whatever form of clout monster, clout cryptid I might be. I'm fine. If you want to call me that, if you want to call me a drama streamer, I'm fine with that. But I gotta disagree with the allegations that I am after the engagement of her community. I don't want her community. I feel like her toxicity is a really good filter to get her chatters that I have no offense to anybody that watches Keffals too. Like I said, I'm never judging you if you, I mean, I'm sure there's some people that watch us both, right? Some people maybe that watch both of us and they like Keffals and they dislike me, but they still want to see what I have to say. Or some people that are like the other way. They like me better than Keffals, but they still want to see what Keffals has to say. But as far as like her community, as far as like her supporters, right? The people that are, funding her enterprise of whatever, kind of drama content that she's doing now, I don't have a lot of interest in those people. There's not a lot in there for me, and like the communities that surround it, right? Let's say like even like Xander Hall's community, right? I mean, sure, if somebody used to watch Xan and they want to watch me now, I'm fine with that, but I'm not expecting and I'm not trying, and that's not where the majority of my community comes from. That's not where my biggest overlaps are, right? There are other more wholesome communities that many of you come from that are actually the communities that I overlap with. They're the communities that I care more about, engagement from their community. And I'm generally looking for positive engagement. I get that to some people from the outside, I might look like a cold, jaded drama streamer. I might look like a bit of a messy bitch. I might be a little scary, intimidating. Ooh, is she going to drama stream about you? Probably not. If you're minding your business, if you're trying to build, a wholesome online left, right? I've got no interest in that. I've got none whatsoever. But there is somewhat of, I guess I'd call it like a rearguard action that I find myself having to take up. And it sucks because, like I said, there's no gatekeeping. Despite how much Vaush and Keffals want to talk about gatekeeping, it doesn't really go on. And so we end up fighting this rearguard action against people that are supposedly on our own side because there's no gatekeeping. You have people, come into the left and bring in like anti-SJW, like an anti-SJW mentality along with them, right? That's what I don't like. That's what I don't think is healthy. I've been harmed by that. I've been lied about by people like that. And so I just feel like it's paying it forward, since I've learned a lot about how this kind of adversarial content works to oppose this stuff, right? That's all I'm really about. I'm not here for clout. I'm not going to steal your audience away, Keffals. You don't have to worry about that. Anyway, she hasn't even mentioned me yet.
I don't know. I don't know if we need to delete it. I just want people to know that you're letting them win if you give a shit. Because they can only benefit from the attention. Hate comments are still engagement. Putting their name out there is free advertising.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of this. This is good advice, right? You should take it, Keffals. But instead, what are we going to get? We're going to get some free advertising.
We shouldn't do that shit. If it's like, I think it's different when it's someone who actually has a following. But when it's just someone who I've never engaged with, the community doesn't even know who they are, like what is the point?
Do we need to speed her up?
Who are they? No, that's exactly the point. Like,
yeah, exactly. Who are we? Nobody. It doesn't matter. You don't have to talk about us. You don't have to engage with us. It's not there. There's no need for this.
That's exactly like the fucking point. Who are they? No one knows who they are. We don't need.
And she would like to keep it that way, but she's doing a piss poor job at actually actualizing that.
Talk about them. They're not relevant to anything that we're discussing or this community. And the only reason they have gained any sort of attention is by trying to insert themselves and instigate conflicts that they have nothing to do
Keffals, I feel like you have no problem instigating conflicts by yourself.
with.
I can't speak to the other people who's this like food shops. I don't know very much about, I feel I don't even want to like, talk about, it's not somebody that I would watch, but I really don't know anything about them. The other person that she mentions is a former Twitch streamer who was banned from Twitch for some kind of sussy stuff that he said about digital like child exploitation materials. I don't think that means that he himself engages in that behavior, although he's accused me of saying that. I do, however, disagree with his perspective on that, and I disagree vociferously, right? But
Basically using the President Sunday model of drama engagement.
well, I mean, President Sunday, for anything that you want to say about President Sunday, and sometimes, I'm sure he looks at his career and he says,
It's going bad.
but his engagement model has paid off for him. He has grown his community substantially, and he's at a place now where he can do full-time content. He can, bring his audience like content almost every day, and that's through, the support that they've given him. So obviously it does, pay off. That's not the model that I'm particularly going for, but I can't knock it either.
Which isn't even like, it's not even good for building a platform or any sort.
But wait, then how does that, then what is this that you're doing? What is your all drama, all the time content strategy doing for, what kind of community do you think that you're building?
Of long-term, any sort of long-term or short-term growth. I'm also a fucking nobody. So doing drama content on me isn't even going to get clicks.
I mean, you used to not be a nobody, right?
Like, when the bigger YouTubers do the drama content on me, they have to put me next to Vaush.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. I feel called out by this. And we have to put a picture of ourselves slurping noodles right next to you as well.
And then basically signal to the audience that I am some sort of extension of Vaush. They never attack me on my own.
Look, I mean, you could go your own way. You're probably one of the only Vaush orbiters that could, if, she so chose, chart your own course, and, you're big enough to do that. But by virtue of the fact that you're dependent on a website from Vaush's sysadmin, yeah, you do become an extension. You do kind of tie your fate to that of Vaush's, right? So, I mean, I wouldn't say they're necessarily wrong about that.
Because if they attacked me on my own, they would look like pieces of shit, because I don't have a huge platform. Then it would be punching down. But if they can,
who is attacking Keffals these days? Like bigger content creators, right? Who is even like doing critical? I guess Hoots did a video mentioning Keffals. Again, she wasn't the main thrust of that. Just as like, this is not the, I am not by far, like, she hasn't even mentioned it. We're 5 minutes in and she hasn't even mentioned me yet. I'm not the main thrust of this. This isn't about me. I just, come up and get that mention and
associate me enough with Vaush, then suddenly I'm on an even playing field with them or something. It is misogyny, yeah.
Oh, so that's what she's saying, is it would be punching down otherwise. Yo, no, I don't know, Keffals. You're punching in every direction, okay? It's not punching down from somebody that's attacking anybody and everyone. Literally, from what I can tell, for clout, for engagement, for the same things that you've accused these homegalol random small streamers of doing.
There's a fuck ton of misogyny in the online politics space. And a lot of misogyny in the online left in general, because people...
And yet, why do you only seem to notice it when it's directed at you? Right? You're right, there is a lot of misogyny in the online left, but you're also... like I said, you're also, you know, attached at the hip, like monetarily, financially, right, through a financial relationship with Vaush. So
Think
that's where a lot of the misogyny is coming from.
that they're above it. They think that because they're willing to acknowledge that misogyny exists, that they're somehow...
That's the irony, right? Is she's not wrong about this, but it's just like, of all the people to make this accusation, right? It's just like,
exempt from it. It's frustrating. And it's frustrating because, like, this is such an obvious fact, but talking about it makes you seem like you're whining. And I fucking hate that.
I mean, I hate to say it, but you are whining.
I just, like, despise it. Like, you can't talk about it. Oh my god. Who are these fucking idiots in the YouTube chat? Jesus Christ. Just talk with Tom and work it out? No! I don't want to engage ever again, and I am gonna ban all mentions of him in this community, so I never have to see anything he has to say about me again.
I mean, that's probably smart.
Do not give a shit. Like, I'm not obligated to respond to anyone. No, like, I agree with Velvet. Like, these people are fucking demons. They're not worth any of our time. Now someone said, like, what about nocommentchick? Yeah, her as well. I also ignore her actively.
You're not doing a very good job of it right now.
She has very little to actually contribute, and most of what she does is just try to insert herself.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect Keffals to get much out of my stream, just like I don't get a lot out of Keffals' stream, right? Other than the drama and the meaningless, like, clout grabs, there's not really, you know, anything there. Like, I cover it mainly because of the harm that it does to the online left and the sort of object lesson that she provides. But yeah, no, I don't expect her to engage with my content. Like I said, I don't think that she's really, you know, looked into it any more than just, like, been mildly annoyed at a thumbnail I made.
Into other people's conflicts.
Into other people's conflicts. I mean, yeah, I have some empathy for people that get attacked for clout. I have some empathy for smaller streamers that get maligned, like she did to Zara, like she's done to so many people. I have empathy when you go on and, like, talk about somebody's, like, dad on stream, like you show their, like, the names of members of their family. Like, you want to talk about inserting yourself, you know, where you don't belong? Maybe stop posting people's personal, private information and then using the excuse of, like, well, I found it on the internet, therefore it's not doxing. I didn't post an address, therefore it's not doxing. Yeah, you just made the person easier to dox in the future. And I know what it is, right? You can't take the criticism. You can't take what you dish out. So you try to use intimidation, right? You try to put a cost to crossing Keffals. And that cost is that nobody knows when you're going to start escalating. And there's the potential that you could take it way too far, like you did with a lot of people, right? And the kind of like
Dingus Gambit
that you're making there is that it's gonna ultimately, you know, save you some criticism. But that doesn't work on everyone, Keffals. And that doesn't stop the rest of us from noticing what you're doing.
Yeah, nocommentchick's just she's fucking insane. I don't like her. I've never liked her.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Well, to each their own, honestly.
It's also like these people have such these people have, like, little to no reach except for when people bring them up to me. So it's like, if you don't mention them,
you sound so much like Hassan here, right? And that's not a good thing. You sound like Hassan in a moment of weakness, when he's on vacation in Italy, and he really should be thinking of literally anything else than you and your manifesto, right?
I have like
as you're telling people not to bring my name up, you literally say my name, and there it is.
absolutely no way of influencing anyone in this space.
Yeah, no, that's really clear. That's really, really clear. I don't think I can. I have very little influence on Vaush. I have very little influence on Keffals. I have influence over the people who are sick of what you're doing, and I'm sorry that you serve as like the perfect object lesson. I guess nobody likes being talked about in a less than complimentary way, but Keffals, the things you do are very much a choice. And in making that choice, you subject yourself to criticism. And I feel like you can dish it out, but you're way, way too fragile to take it. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. I don't expect everybody's gonna place a lot of value in it. How are we doing, chat? NCC based Keffals isn't cool enough to get it. I mean, yeah, I don't expect that. I don't like her shouldn't say that, sounds mean. I don't enjoy her content. Okay? And that's not a slight on her. It's just, to each their own. Still can't believe none of these people investigated for themselves the folder stuff. Well, I mean, it's easier just to, I don't know, signal boost whatever comes down the line from your friends and associates, right? You can say her content is bad. She's an ableist Vaushite. That's what I was saying, is like, why is it, like, with these people, why is it always got to be like an attack on mental health, right? And you'd think that a lot of people could understand, because we all go through mental health challenges. Nobody's mental health is entirely perfect, right? You'd think that, people would be more understanding of that, especially those who have faced, those kind of challenges, right? But just, there's not a lot of self-awareness with Keffals. I think a war between you and Keffals has risen. Will the Vanguard Keffals? I don't know. Is there really that much to cover? I don't think there's that much here, right? I'm gonna mention it because it's interesting, and I'm frankly kind of surprised, right? I wouldn't expect Keffals to really, have any comment on a random small streamer chick such as myself. There's nothing in it for her, right? There's no clout that she has to gain from that. The only thing she has to, the only possible outcome for this is for her to raise the profile of one of her critics. And I don't think that's something that Keffals wants to do. But just like Hassan, in some ways she can't help it. And that's something that I've always benefited from. Really good advice, right? Really good advice from my mods, really good advice from my community in terms of the people that, the allegations or whatever that I need to address, right? And the stuff that I don't need to address. And the stuff that, frankly, I shouldn't be signal boosting. And like, stuff can get to you. You don't like being talked about in a lot of different ways, but it doesn't mean that you have to platform like every, mean thing that somebody writes about you. But yeah, that's not the first time Keffals has mentioned me. Sadly, it's probably not the last time. The apple bite was funny. What the F is a Keffal? Good question. I don't think that even she knows. The white leaf rot runs deep. Call in the tree surgeon. Oh my god. There's like diseases. Aren't there like tree diseases? Like Dutch elm. Wait, is it Dutch elm disease? Is that what it's called? The first bite, anyway. You can't hear me chewing. Well, that's good. I've got my expander correctly adjusted. I make myself. Oh my god. At any given time, 1 in 4 people have mental illness, health issues. Yeah, and I feel like their go-to thing, it's like, that's just what she's got loaded up in her quiver. That's just what she's got in her clip, right? I'm sorry, it's a magazine. Let me speak correctly before Moist Critical comes over here to correct me. Like, knocks on my door and says, this is called a magazine. This is not a clip. But yeah, it's just what she's got on on tap for us is like and non-specific too. It's just like she's crazy. Why is she great? What does she do? What does she do that's crazy? I don't know. She's just crazy. I'm just gonna say what Xander Hall said, what Chud Logic said, what Lonerbox said. I'm just gonna repeat it, and I don't really have to look into it any deeper than that. Dutch oven disease? Is that when somebody holds you under the cover and flatulates? I hope not. That sounds like a cruel fate. Keffals is a forest disease? I guess so. And like I said, like, would it be nice to be able to reach her and, I don't know, change her mind on some things? Maybe get her to entertain the idea of changing her behavior? Sure. I don't expect that to happen. When I'm doing content on Keffals, it's not for the benefit of Keffals. It's not directed at Keffals community. I'm not trying to win anybody over. I don't expect that I would win anybody over. Those who are there in Keffals community are there by choice, right? And I respect that choice. They're adults. We're adults. We can choose what we like and what we don't like, what appeals to us and what does not appeal to us. Oh, geez. So Zara's got a copy of exactly what I was talking about when we say stay on script. And look, I don't want to like this. I don't know. I worry that like I take a chance on coming off conspiratorial here. In like lining up what different drama streamers, honestly, different debate streamers have said about me, but it does seem like it just seems like it's like one of those Fox News things, right? Where you see that they're using the exact same words. They're all trying to signal boost this one message. They're all on the and we found out that with Fox often there's like a memo that circulates that says, this is how I want you to talk about, like coming from corporate, coming from their boss. This is how we want you to talk about this issue, right? And it's just a little coinky dink, right? Don't take it too seriously. I'm not putting on a tinfoil hat just yet, okay?
Obviously, I've got a very dim view of nocommentchick. Well, nocommentchick is fucking insane. That is true.
Okay. I'm pretty sure nocommentchick is crazy.
She used to be normal. She used to just be kind of chill.
Like, me and her were pretty chill for a while.
But
then... Did you see this? When she's saying good things about me, she's normal, she's chill, she's okay. But then she started saying not so good things about me. I think that what these people don't like about me is that I'm honest. Maybe to a fault.
Like,
there was a moment that she just kind of snapped. It was really weird.
I wasn't really paying attention to it, but then like some crazy drama happened and...
But then there was something that happened.
It was really weird.
Fucking crazy.
And then she started...
They can't quite describe it. They can't quite define it. They don't really know what they're saying.
Saying and doing some weird stuff.
So yeah.
Which I can't really go into detail about because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
One of the mods came out and revealed a lot of this. Yeah, apparently this other person, what they called, they're fucking insane too, but they also came out with the information also, alongside it.
There it is. There it is. And that's how I'm seen largely by the Twitch Bowl community, by the drama community, by the Vaush Clout network, right? When I was saying nice things about them, and like, let me just give some explanation for this, because like, right, the fact that I'm saying nice things about Xander Hall, the fact that I was saying nice things about Chud Logic, about Dylan Burns, about people like this, right? That deserves some explanation. Some of you probably hear that and you cringe and you're like, what was wrong? What was wrong with you then? Like you probably think there was like a problem with me then and not so much now. It was just a different approach, right? I bought into the debate sphere's brand, and it's very much a brand that we are beholden to facts and logic, and we believe what we believe. But if somebody makes an argument that's like, you know, ironclad, that actually makes sense, a closed loop of logic, and convinces us differently, then we're open to adopt new viewpoints, right? That's what I believed, right? Because that's what that's how they describe themselves. That's not how they are. They are focused on this idea of W's. It's very much W culture, right? Which is really low tier shit. That's like what XQC's community does. No offense to the juicers out there, right? I'm sure that XQC holds some kind of a you know, appeal to some people because he's got a pretty big audience, right? But I mean, it's just like not something that you would think that you'd find in the online left, is this kind of adherence to W culture. And what that W culture means is that you can never admit that you're wrong, especially when the person telling you that you're wrong is a random small streamer chick, right? And especially when you're a guy, frankly, right? And that's the issues that I've had. Those are the conflicts that I've had largely, right? There was some notable exceptions that mainly just center around, you know, people's alliances where they need to back each other up for clout, and so therefore a criticism against one streamer. Oh my god, Jordan, thank you for the membership. Wait, yeah, I'm a woke school tanky, that's right. Oh my god, Lexical, thank you for the support. Thank you for the gift membership to Jordan. We'll now have full access to all the emotes and many other things like exclusive content, which is what you get when you become a member of the YouTube channel. Yeah, thank you a lot. I love the support. It means a lot to me, especially when I'm going up against larger streamers, as I always tend to do. I've just never been somebody that's like cowed by Clout, right? She called me like, what, I don't know, a Clout monster or something like that. You know, that everything that I'm doing is for Clout. I'm trying to get engagement. I'm trying to get attention. I'm trying to dive in the orchestra pit to get attention. But that's really not, like, if I wanted Clout, I'd be doing what you're doing, Keffals, and I'd be sucking up to Vaush. I'd be doing what you're doing, Demon Mama, and I'd be sucking up to Vaush. I'd be doing what the Destiny orbiters are doing, and I'd be sucking up to Destiny, right? I played that game. I even had a conversation with Destiny, 2 conversations. The first one was him trying to convince me that Demon Mama was this horrible monster that needed to be stopped. And why? Because she beat him in a debate, right? Steven came on to try to convince me to help him chase Demon Mama off the freaking internet. And I was just like, what does she do that's any different than any of the rest of your orbiters other than disagree with you? It's inconvenient. You came to Demon Mama to take home the W, because you've got to take home that W to your community. You got to take home W after W, and you build momentum, and that's how you become a big debate streamer. That's what you want. Demon Mama was inconvenient because she out-debated you. She kicked your ass, right? And you were coping. You came to my stream, Destiny, coping about that, right? And like I said, I'm honest to a fault. I wasn't like the biggest fan of Demon Mama. I'm definitely aware of her, like, you know, personal faults and foibles, her, you know, excessive ego. I mean, she's not the best person in the world, but she's not any worse than any of these assholes either, right? She's just another debate streamer. And so, you know, he could not convince me that Demon Mama to go on his, you know, to join his mission against Demon Mama or whatever, to disavow her, you know, and I'm not, you know, not even necessarily a friend of hers, right? The second debate that we had was me wanting to present the concept that he talks about a lot, that is the concept of cancel culture, to Destiny in a way that is different than the way that he conceives of it. When he thinks about cancel culture, he's talking about people like Demon Mama saying, hey, there was something about what Destiny said that I found a little bit transphobic. There was something that Destiny said that I didn't quite like, right? And that's dangerous to Steven because he feels like he could lose like a sponsorship. He could lose, I don't know, community members, right? He could be hurt by this reckless trans streamer making these reckless accusations at him, right? And he's all worried about he's going to get canceled. Canceling is something that marginalized people do to people with privilege. And so when we find a marginalized person trying to do that, we gotta fucking, end her, right? Content wise, right? I mean, I hope that's all it is. Sometimes it feels it feels like a secret like crime underworld, right? With all the splinter discords and all the palace intrigue and everything that goes on in these spaces. But like he wanted to chase her off the internet, so I tried to present it to him in another way, saying, hey Steven, if you're worried about cancel culture, let's talk about the primary victims of cancel culture, those without the power to resist it, those without the power to oppose it. I'm talking about marginalized people, and I'm not talking about a new thing that just started up when Tumblr came into being. I'm talking about a very old tradition of scapegoating marginalized people, like you were trying to do to Demon Mama, because she was inconvenient for you, and she took the W right out of your mouth, right? And you had to go home with that fat L, and that sucks. And if you're a debate streamer, you hate that L. You never want the L. Nobody wants the L, right? And if somebody gives you an L, especially somebody that you somehow view yourself as being better than, as being a more valuable person than, you're gonna cope like Destiny did. And that's the problem with these assholes, right? Was the problem with Dylan. Dylan could have left the debate. He did look stupid. He didn't know what he was talking about half of the time, and he didn't really have like a decent argument for me. But it doesn't matter because he's so much bigger than me. I don't have the power to cancel Dylan. I don't have the power to cancel anybody, right? He could have just left and been like, all right, that was cool. That debate did not go the way that I wanted to, but next debate will be better, right? But he didn't, because he needed to cope. He needed that narrative to end with a W. He needed to twist that L that I gave him into the shape of a W. And Dylan, that's not really a W. That's still an L no matter how you twist it, right? You took the L, okay? And it's because you were wrong. And it's okay to be wrong. That's how we learn things. That's how we change our minds. That's how we become better people. That's how we do better by our communities. And I've always thought that Dylan, had the desire to be an ally to trans people. I never thought that he was, this like transphobic guy that just like, hates us or anything like that. But, there are certain things that you're not going to recognize, not being the victim of transphobia yourself. And I thought maybe I could give him a spirited debate. Unfortunately, that's not what he wanted. That's not how the debate hierarchy works. And just like when Demon Mama forces Destiny to take that L, nocommentchick forcing Dylan to take that L is going to cause them to want to end me, right? And they tried damn hard for nearly 2 years to do that, okay? I got to tell you something, debate sphere. Mission not accomplished. Mission not accomplished. You took what you tried to bury, that being me, and actually gave it a bigger voice in the long run, right? In terms of having a community that is there to hear what I'm saying, not like Dylan's community, not like Keffals' community, not like Vaush's. Although like I always hold out hope with some of these people that they're just taking, they're just joining these communities because like that's all they see that's out there, right? Vaush is really easy to find if you're looking up political stuff, if you're looking up debate stuff, right? You will find Vaush's content really easily. And if you think that that's all that's out there, well, you might just join up and think that this is the best that we can do, that we need this parasocial daddy to fight for us. And even when he turns on us like Homelander, he's still the best that we got. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to accept that. All right. But yeah, there we are. Thank you for providing another object lesson, Keffals. I do appreciate that about you. And despite the fact that you hate me, you never liked me, which I don't quite believe, but whatever. I'll take your word for it. I don't really have any antipathy for you. You are what you are. You are who you are. You know, you got to where you are by choices that you made as an adult, and those are your choices to make. But it's also my choices to make when I think that you're a fitting object lesson, when I think that you're a fitting example of what's wrong with the debate sphere. And that's all I'm saying, with no hatred intended. Anyway, I gotta finish this apple. How's everybody doing? Because the last thing I want you to do is feel scared, feel defeated, feel anything, you know, like that, feel disempowered. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel like you've got some voice, because sometimes it feels like you don't. We're doing good. I should probably back this up. Like, I mean, for most of you, this doesn't even need to be said, right? But I don't want anyone to ever go out and harass somebody, you know, because you feel like I've been slighted, or, you know, talk shit about, or that another community disrespected me. That's often why, you know, you saw the name that was redacted in something that Chud Logic said, right? With a, you know, smaller streamer that has you know, that hates my guts. I don't exactly want to I don't want to do anything that would like direct hatred at that person. That also goes for a larger streamer like Keffals, right? I don't hate Keffals. I don't want you to hate Keffals, and I definitely don't want you to harass anybody, you know, Keffals or anybody in that community, or you know, any of these people. But I think most of you get this. I have to say it just in case there's somebody out there that, you know, that has maybe the right impulse but the wrong tactic, because that's not helpful to me or to any of us. And you're a little afraid. Well, just look, the best practice is, okay, like if we have to deal with drama, which I don't anticipate, like I said, she only just mentioned me, right? That was a mention. Like, I feel like I got off so easy compared to so many of the other people that Keffals has attacked, right? I got off super easy, right? She just said she hates me, and she's never liked me, and that I'm crazy. And I can accept that that's like totally your opinion. Wait, is that 60 likes or 60 views? I don't know. But yeah, we are growing, we are expanding, and with or without any kind of engagement from Keffals community, I don't think I need that though, right? I don't think that's where my community, I don't think that's where my audience is. Like, I know streamers that I like and respect. I know streamers that cultivate communities that are wholesome and affirming and that do show solidarity. And that's where I feel like most of my community has come from. And that's where I feel like, you know, the future growth of this community lies in those directions, right? I'm not trying to peel off Keffals, you know, viewers. They're there for a reason. They like what she does, and that's their choice. Yeah, that's like your opinion, man. Like, right, exactly. That's what Hassan focuses on. Yeah. Look, as much as I sometimes disagree with Hassan, I respect Hassan on a level that I don't really, you know, have for like Vaush, Keffals, Xander Hall, Destiny, the rest of them, right? I respect that, you know, he is, as far as like drama goes, somewhat more focused on positivity, somewhat more focused on creating a community, building a place where learning can occur, and you know, it doesn't always have to be like, you know, he doesn't usually do like theory streams. He does like politics streams. He does fun streams. He does a little gaming for the gaming frogs. Keffals bigger. She was pulling mid double figures on Twitch viewers all weekend. Oh, that's a question. Yeah, Keffals is definitely bigger than me. Do I think Keffals is racist? It depends on what you mean by racist, right? Because, you know, it depends on if you're talking about explicit racism, or if you're talking about implicit racism, right? Because if you're talking about implicit racism, then yes, Keffals is racist, but so am I, right? That I exist in a culture that where racism is in the air that I breathe and the food that I eat and the water that I swim in. It's like all around us, right? And I have absolutely, I know, internalized some of that, and it has formed, bigoted ideas, and I try to notice those, and I try to unpack those. And when somebody makes me aware of that, rather than striking back at them and attacking them, I try to listen and I try to learn and I try to do better. But that's like, there's very few people out there that have not internalized racism. And when I say racism, I'm not just talking about racial antipathy. I'm talking about systemic racism. I'm talking about those objective power relations. I'm talking about, in a sense, like, it sounds silly for some people to hear this, but white supremacy, right? A racial structure that holds whiteness, which is a social construction on top of a social construction, as the very tip top of the pyramid. And any respect that any group gets is by virtue of being adjacent in some way to that whiteness, right? And that's something that is pretty hard not to get inculcated, even if you're, even if you're not at the top of that pyramid, right? It's easy to get inculcated with some of those ideas. So yeah, that's what I would say about that, right? But you can see from the picture that I do enjoy noodles, right? Although I don't relish the idea of like joining a dog pile of like alt-right 4chan weirdos on some random person on Twitter that has an objection to like cultural appropriation. I do enjoy noodles, right? And you could enjoy both, right? We're not against noodles here. We're not against we're not against that. I don't think that was ever what that was about. And that's one of those discussions that like it went on Twitter, and it's like Twitter robs things of context, right? And without the context of what was really going on there, it seems pretty ridiculous. What, noodles are racist? Dumplings are racist? Excuse me, right? What are you talking about, right? But yeah, no, that's noodles. I wish I had some right now. Unfortunately, all I have to eat is these tortillas and avocados and refried beans. That's how I feed myself. No, I do usually eat noodles. I do eat noodles a lot. They're really easy to make. That's what I love about them. Yeah, NCC getting the shout out from Keffals. I mean, it was just a little bit. I don't want to like over exaggerate what happened. I'm not trying to get clout from this. I don't, I'm You're offended. Oh my gosh. Well, next time I'll make something different. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I just had to make something in a hurry, right? I wanted to go to stream. It was getting really late, and I knew that I had a limited time to talk about the things that we're going to talk about today. And, in general, if we don't make the sub goal, the time is going to be somewhat limited. But as always, I appreciate all the people who support me out there, whether it's through a sub on Twitch, through gifting subs to others, helping them get out of the ad breaks, which, it's like every half hour on Twitch, right? So it's kind of a pain in the ass. That is awesome. An awesome way to donate when you're not helping out not only me, but somebody that's otherwise going to face the dual ad breaks every top of the hour and every middle of the hour, or bits or super chats or what have you, right? I appreciate it all. And even you just being here, right, is something that I appreciate, like having that kind of support, even for people that have no way of ever financially supporting me. Even like your thumbs are more powerful than you realize. And that's what I want most of all, is your thumbs. I want your likes. She has a no free clout policy. I mean, that's a good policy. That's a good policy, Wample Stiltskin. It applies to you and tomfoolery. Well, I hope you don't class me with somebody like I feel like we're very different people, me and Tom, right? Like, I was friends with tomfoolery up until he said something weird in Twitch chat that I didn't quite understand, but I definitely disagree with, right? The thing about like digital child exploitation materials somehow being a mechanism of harm reduction. I was just kind of grossed out by that. And Tom has hated me ever since, right? Because I wasn't there to support him because I didn't support what he was saying. And, you know, I told my community why I disagree with him, and I still disagree with him. I don't think that that means that Tom's engaging in any sort of predatory behaviors or anything, and I never accused him of such, but it's just not somebody that I can get down with. And I should have noticed earlier, I mean, like, Tom's a right winger, right? It's really weird to associate me. I find it really strange to associate me with tomfoolery, right? That's a strange pairing. That is not like does not name a more iconic duo. Don't hate Keffals, but only me and wait, what? Oh, you don't hate Keffals, yeah. I don't hate Keffals either. I don't hate anybody. I don't know Keffals, but I'm cool with Irene. So Keffals is a dub. I mean, I think of Vaush. I think Vaush has said something similar. Or yeah, Vaush has said something similar, and I called that out too. And again, I don't hate Vaush. I don't think that he's engaged in like predation or anything. I'm not taking that to an extreme. I think there are some people with some pretty extreme views on Vaush, on Keffals, maybe even like on, you know, tomfoolery. I disagree with Vaush's take, and like specifically the fact that it was really similar to the take that Milo Yiannopoulos had, right? The take that Vaush had that I objected to was the idea. And he said, you know, if I don't agree with this, I need to uncuck my lib SJW brain and admit that relationships between minors and adults can exist without causing harm to the minor. I feel like that kind of violation of consent at such a young age is in itself harm to a minor. So I massively disagree with Vaush on that. But yeah, I don't take it to an extreme where I extrapolate of, you know, what's on his hard drive or anything like that, right? I don't have any proof of that. I don't have any reason to think that. So that's not what I'm saying. But yeah, I do disagree with people like, and I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people in the debate space that might have a similar point of view. I just disagree with it. And it's funny that like the one person that I've heard echo my viewpoint on that, strangely enough, was Chud Logic, right? Chud Logic's got a zero tolerance policy for that shit as well. So a dub means a dead issue. Oh, thank you. Yeah, because sometimes in debate spheres, a dub means a W. It means a win. But I figured that's not what you were saying. A true problem with what she said was accepting a bad premise. Yeah, so that's the thing, is Vaush gets by on this claim about the possibility of a neutral or positive relationship between an adult and a child based on the fact that his conclusion, why he's saying that, like the conclusion that he's getting to, is that even though that's true, because he's a, what is it, like a rule utilitarianist? He's a rule utilitarian, not an act. Wait, is that right? Yeah, rule utilitarian, not an act utilitarian. He believes that the age of consent should remain in place. And good for you, Vaush. I agree with that, but I don't agree with your premise, right? And I think that premise is, you know, problematic. I can't fucking endorse that shit. Not even close, right? A solid argument that is even worse that murder, in my opinion, people have a visceral reaction. Well, yeah, if you're just like, you know, based on like, you know, disgust, right? I think Vaush has discussed the disgust reaction before, and I think I agree with him that it is something that generally leads people towards right-wing conclusions. And if I was using, you know, disgust to inform like kind of a carceral view on things, like a zero tolerance policy that meant like no rehabilitation, yeah, I think that would be problematic. But if you notice, that's not what I'm saying. I think he's making things up with the meta ethics. No one seriously considers. Yeah, that's the thing about calling yourself a utilitarian. It's kind of like Jordan Peterson calling himself a Jungian, right? Or whoever else. Like, I'm trying to remember who. Like when people call themselves Freudians, right? That's not. You're not likely to find like serious mental health professionals that when you ask them, what is your background, what is your belief, what is your perspective, they're like, oh yeah, Jungian. I feel like Jung in his psychology and his concept of the of personas and the shadows and all that kind of stuff. I think Jung was really where it's at. I think Freud really, had a good point. Some people will build off of what Freud said. Like, if you look at Anti-Oedipus by Deleuze and Guattari, you'll find that they use Freud and disagreeing with Freud as kind of a jumping off point for both that work and the sequel, if you want to call it that, 1,000 Plateaus. But I feel like calling yourself a utilitarian is a great way to self-report that your knowledge of philosophy hasn't really advanced much past like a 101 course on that's not exactly ethical theory, right? But no hate, right? Because we're all starting from a point that we start at. We all have our own academic focus, and for people whose focus isn't on philosophy, they probably need to be a little bit more humble in their discussions of philosophy. People like Peter Singer. I'm sure there are some people that call themselves utilitarians. It's just not really. It's not where a lot of like serious, philosophy majors wind up. My left version is that murder is done, but abuse perpetuates violence generationally. It's like calling yourself a realist versus a utopian. Yeah, there's just like, it's not really fertile ground for meaningful philosophical discussion generally, unless you're just really well steeped. Like, I'm sure there's people that go deep on something like utilitarianism. I haven't really run into them, but yeah, just Vaush's whole outlook on that just strikes me as sophomoric, and as thus, like, I kind of cut him some slack based on that it's not the ultimate opinion of somebody who's looked in depth at ethical theory and made a real serious decision considering like all that's there. It's just somebody that studied a little bit of philosophy, found some John Stuart Mill or something and decided like, yeah, this is a utilitarian, that sounds great. Right? And that's a problem with the debate sphere in general, is it in the algorithm, right? It incentivizes this kind of like pseudo-intellectual hackery, which to a lot of people, like, look at Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro speaks fast. Ben Shapiro sounds smart. Ben Shapiro uses words that might be a little bit beyond the comprehension of his audience. Same thing with Jordan Peterson. But does Ben Shapiro know what he's talking about? Fuck no. Does Jordan Peterson know what he's talking about? Fuck no. And do Vaush and Destiny know what they're talking about? Sadly, I gotta say, fuck no. Yeah, no, I've paid attention. I'm aware of the internet traditions of the VGG and the DGG, and I've hung around those people. I've had discussions with those people. I've at least exchanged tweets with the likes of Vaush. I've had 2 discussions with Destiny on stream. I know most of these people. In fact, like, that's the reason that Keffals can say that she hates me, right? It would be really weird for her to say that she hated me given like no familiarity whatsoever with me. But yeah, we knew each other. We were actually friendly. I won't say friends. We streamed at like different times. I think she wanted to debate me on cat boys versus cat girls, which I'm sure would have been a great and substantive debate, right? I'm sure that all those who watched would have been massively edified by our debate on cat girls versus cat boys. But sadly, it never happened because we just didn't stream at the same time, and we couldn't find a time to be on together. Keffals sucks. I mean, Her content is not my cup of tea, but again, no hate, no hate. Even if she says she hates my guts, or she didn't say my guts, she hates me, so she hates at least like some of my material essence. I don't know. What is the debate on cat boys versus cat girls? It's like, which is better, right? It's just a simple debate. Cat boys, like it's almost an emotivist debate, like between like the concept of yay cat boys or yay cat girls. Like which do you agree with? Which do you resonate with? Right? That's a very important debate. But yeah, sorry for not paying as much attention to you, chat, during today's stream. I felt like at least the Vaush segment is something that I feel passionately about. Is something that I disagree with Vaush on. I don't hate him, but I think he's really got it wrong in his conception of the left as being like hostile to men, right? I do think there is oppression against men, like he mentioned about being judged by your height, being judged by your ability to conform to like standards of masculinity, but that's not on me as a woman, and that's not on feminism, and that's not on the left. That is literally on the patriarchy. That's why we have litter boxes in school. Oh my gosh. We got the Raptor gang in chat. Once again, it looks like we're coming upon an ad break in Twitch. This is something that you can get out of with an Amazon Prime subscription for free, no cost, no additional cost to you, and it benefits me greatly. It keeps me coming to you more and more. You can do so for $5 if that is a price that you're willing to pay, or if you're lucky enough, you might even get a gift sub. It does happen. It can happen. It's more likely to happen when you're active in chat. But yeah, you got like 3 minutes and 30 seconds to try to get out of that ad break. I'm tall for a woman. I'm told 5'10". Yeah, that's the other thing that he's ignoring, right? Is that like, it's not the same. I guess like the standards aren't the same for men and women. But there is like there is a standard. There is like a patriarchal standard. I hate to say it, right? Because I know that people like Vaush, when they hear the word patriarchy, they well up with anger, right? Because they look at their lives and they say, my life's not a bed of roses. Everything's not easy for me. I experience oppression. How could you dare say that there's something like male privilege? Hell, if anything, maybe there's female privilege, right? And he'll say that about like racism too, right? The feeling that you get from him is that the real danger is this anti-white racism, right? And that's just not a viewpoint that has anything to do with the left. That is shit that he has failed to unpack from his prior life, and I think to his detriment, right? It makes him a worse content creator. It makes him a worse streamer. It might get rewarded by the algorithm, but at what cost, really? The inability to see past themselves. Yeah, unfortunately, all too common in this space. But yeah, that's why I try to come at it from a perspective of like understanding. Like I understand why Vaush is where he is. I understand why Destiny is where he is. It's hard to get these people to listen. Like literally in my discussion about cancel culture with Destiny, which I tried to adapt specifically for him. I tried to customize that for him. Like that was literally to convince him to look at cancel culture in a different way. Do you know what he did? Do you know what he did? He played the piano. Like he wasn't even listening to me. I mean, he did let me, I guess, go off to his chat. His chat like heard what I had to say, right? I got that platform. He let me speak. So, thanks for that, Destiny. But he had no interest in what I had to say, right? In his mind, he had heard it all before. And that's what I anticipate like a discussion with like Keffals or Vaush would probably go like to. I don't know. I mean, I'd be still willing to have it on the off chance that it does make a difference, but I don't expect that difference. Oh my God, black privilege. God damn. I've literally heard people say that unironically in this space, and that's so disturbing to me. What about black privilege though? Oh yeah? Oh yeah? What about female privilege? Oh yeah? Oh yeah? What about what about trans privilege? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We're getting into the realm of like Peter Coffin's social capital at that point, and I would hope that we all know what's wrong with that. Most of the left, right? Vaush, Demon Mama, Xanderhall, they are not, they do not like agree with Peter Coffin on these things, and yet they seem to not realize that they're on the same continuum with people like Peter Coffin, right? That their opinions, their view of things are just like a lesser version of Peter Coffin's, you know, bogus reactionary leftism. And that's what I'm fighting against. That's what I would like to, if I could have any effect on the space, that's what it is, right? I'm not here for clout. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to bullshit people and blow smoke up their asses and tell them that they're awesome for freaking clout. I'm here to be real. I'm here to be honest. And I'm here on the hopes that like somebody's going to hear what I have to say and it's going to resonate, right? Because this is a viewpoint that this space is sorely lacking. Peter Cottontail. Oh my gosh. Are there people in chat that don't know about Peter Coffin? Aren't aware of the trove of content that is Peter Coffin? Do not do a debate with Vaush. It's bad enough. Yeah, in general, it's not a good idea. It's not something. Peter Coffin, the Vampire Castle guy, exactly. And I mean, like, I've seen what he does to people, right? He doesn't just like have a conversation with Professor Flowers and say, this is why I think you're wrong. He says, this is why I think you are akin to a white nationalist. This is why I think you are akin to a Nazi, but just like a Nazi for black people. I don't know. It's weird. And you know, when he does this kind of thing, he does it specifically, ironically enough, for these people that hate cancel culture. That's what he's doing. He's isolating somebody. He's focusing like a laser on that person and sending his community after them. And you know, it's exclusion. It's literally what Mark Fisher would call something like, what is it, like rights of exclusion, right? When he talks about the configurations of the Vampire Castle, which I have absolutely read, and I do absolutely think are the words of an old man. Actually, he wasn't that old, was he? I can't even give him that credit, but like, so somebody that's mad at his Twitter feed or mad at his students, mad at being called out, right? It's just a sort of reaction, a very fragile reaction and not a very productive reaction. But again, object lesson. Mark Fisher's Vampire Castle is a perfect object lesson of, you know, where these people are at, and I do try to reach them, right, whether that works or not. Like we've seen, like, you know, it didn't really work with Destiny. I don't expect that it would work with Vaush. I know that I couldn't get through to Keffals. I know that Keffals isn't trying to hear this, but somebody out there is, okay? And I'm here for those people, and I'm here for you, chat. And I really appreciate the fact that you're here for me. I appreciate all the support that I get, and it's what keeps me going. It's what makes me able to continue to do content. And, you know, if we can, you know, increase that level of support, then I can come to you in a more full-time capacity. As is, I stream like 3 or 4 times a week, more when there's a need to, more when there's like content that needs to be covered, and less when, you know, real life gets in the way of it. But one way to kind of clear the way for me in terms of, you know, real life interfering with my my content schedule is supporting me through Twitch, through YouTube, through Stream Elements donations, through super chats, through super stickers, through Patreon, right? All those things help me to bring you more content, and I appreciate those who do. And I appreciate those who just give me that thumbs up, because that means the world to me as well. Anyway, chat, that is about it for today. I appreciate you so much. Let's see. Sometime we got to get our shit together and try to do like, we tried to do a YouTube raid the other day, and it's just like, I could not get it to work. But maybe we can do a Twitch raid. I don't know. Let's see. Ah, yes, indeed. I just found a suitable raid target. Oh, that's the other thing that I worried about with YouTube raids, right? Is that some people might not realize that a raid is a good thing, because there's a lot of different types of raids, right? Including Twitch's tradition of hate raids, which I've been the victim of quite a bit, right? And so like I worry that when some people hear like raid, that they're gonna think that like she's raiding our channel. Wait, are all the sussy things that I've heard about her actually true? Is she a bad person? Is she crazy? Is she this? Is she that? And so I worry when I'm like, yeah, no comment chick wants to raid your channel, then it's kind of like, you know, what is this, right? Because if you're not familiar with Twitch culture, really, it's where raids come from, you know, in the positive sense, then you don't know that what it is it's me sending my viewers into another person's channel, just like I'm sending my viewers on Twitch over to watch Shaxbier's stream right now. You may know Shaxbier from chat. You should also know that Shaxbier is an awesome content creator with an exceptional perspective on history and on current events, particularly what's going on right now in Gaza. And I massively recommend that you give Shaxbier your follow and your support as well. Oh yeah, the other place you can support me is Patreon. I always forget to mention that, but that's a thing. I do have a Patreon. The link should be down below in the description. I'm trying to be better about putting my links down there. Sometimes I don't put them there until like well after the stream, but yeah, like I said, it helps me to come to you more often, to give you higher quality content, and to give you content more often. And if that's something you appreciate, then that's just another way that you can support me. All right, we are raiding into Shaxbier on Twitch. There we go. And could we make a raid on YouTube? I don't know. We tried it before and it was like, here, let me take a look really quick and just see if I can raid into somebody. See if I remember how it even works. You like click the box and is it in like more actions? No, not delete forever. Not delete forever. What the hell? That's not what I want. Oh my god, I'm trying to remember how to do this. Oh wait. Manage stream. Oh wait, yeah, like it's in like this one, right? And then we go to edit. Scroll all the way. No, customization. Yes, yes. Okay, redirect. Letterhack is not streaming yet. Letterhack. Oh god, it's too long. It's too long. Yo, the only person is like President Sunday. I don't know if we know President Sunday like that. I'm not sure. Anybody got other suggestions on YouTube for people who might have rating enabled? Looking at Sandy. I don't see Sandy streaming right now. Raid Into You by Mazzy Star. I love it. I love it. No one's streaming right now. Okay. Well, that's too bad. That's too bad. Well, so I'll have to let you all be adults and choose what content that you're going to view next. But I want you to all know that I appreciate you immensely. Any kind of support that you're giving me, even just being here and hitting that like button on your way out, it means the world to me. It makes a massive difference. It helps my content get out to more people. And it's only by virtue of you that I'm even here, that I'm even able to do some good. But should we just raid into letter hack? I mean, I could raid you into letter hack's like waiting room. I don't know. I feel like you'll find your way there anyway. Anyway, chat, massive appreciation for all of you who are here to support me, and thank you for helping me get through this, even though people are saying bad things about me, bad things about my name. I know that you're here for me, and I know that you're my support. So much love, and I think I will see you again. I'm planning on Wednesday. So yeah, talk to you then. Meow.